Well, good evening. I hope everyone is well this fine Friday. Oh, let me just mute my laptop. Oops. There we go. Always a professional. You know me, pro streamer. How is everyone doing? How is everyone's week? How are you coping with the god-awful heat right now? We are hopefully going to be getting underway relatively soon as we take part in the league. Zealand's new tournament. It's going to be a full 38 season league spread over the next 4 weeks or so, splitting into a playoff system after 3 weeks, where the top 8 then fight it off to be crowned the greatest of all. And we've got some amazing creators taking part. We have Arthur Ray, the French legend that he is. We have Munu, we have Crew, we have Kurt 0411, we have Tom Stokes, we have Manny, we have RDF, we have Zims, we have Second Yellow Card, we have Lelujo, we have obviously Zealand, we have Stans. So many incredible creators taking part. And I am stepping in to, I am not one of them. I am not one of them, let's be clear. I'm stepping in as a substitute the very last minute because RDF is unable to be around this evening. He's got other engagements. So I'm here to kind of help him out a little bit there. Maybe. I may have just received a message encouraging me to betray the good man that is RDF Tactics. And if this is the first you're finding out about it, Aaron, I apologize sincerely. Like a few moments ago, it looks like there might be an extra spot opening up. So I might be drafting for myself, which will be quite fun and exciting. I've done absolutely zero prep for myself. I've messaged, RDF messaged me this morning. I said, yeah, I'm happy to step in. I asked him what kind of things he was going to be doing. And he kind of gave us a little bit of an idea of what he wanted to do. And so I built a shortlist accordingly. I have put absolutely zero thought into what I would put together for a team. So this could be interesting, could be challenging. By the way, welcome in Mangus2121, Chill Vibes. Thank you very much for the follow, gents. So yeah, I will try and catch up with chat as I can and as we go. At the moment, obviously, currently in Discord.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
I would love it if we beat them. I would absolutely love it. Now, for those that have been around before, you will have seen the last draft I did, which also happened to be the first draft I did. And I got knocked out in the first round of a knockout cup. So let's be realistic with our expectations. It's probably going to be a very tough time if this is what we go down the route of. Now, listen to good old Eric.
Follow the trawler. It's because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you.
They do indeed. They do indeed. Those bloody sardines.
Blossoms bloom as far as I'm concerned. You know, but I ain't spending any time on it because in the meantime, every 3 months, a person is torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland.
Honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
All the soundboards coming out. It's beautiful. Thank you very much for the follow, William. Welcome in. Score one more as well. Lovely to see you. I see your sticks is going to back Big Robbo nice and early. I don't blame you there. Coritiba, welcome in.
So I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
So, yes, let's say welcome. I've welcomed many people in chat before the stream started, but I do see we've got It's Me, Ronnie in now as well. We've got Damien in. Welcome in indeed. We've got Centurion Prodigy. We've got Sega. We've got Jabbits and RJ as well. It is lovely to see you all. So, yeah, we are just waiting for... So there's been some conversations going on in the background a little bit for the last few moments. Just waiting for Zealand now to set up the draft so we can head on in. It's going to be interesting. I've put zero thought whatsoever into it. I was using the Moneyball dashboard to shortlist for RDF. So you know, maybe that shortlist is going to be fine. It's going to be focused around big boys. You know, I like a big boy, and euphemism fully met. So hopefully we've got something that we can work around. I'm guessing that if we'd probably go for the 4-2-2-2. I think the Dortmund formation that I've used in the past, it might be the most PvP friendly. I guess we'll see. So the rules are, let's kind of tell you about the rules of this as we're waiting for it. We're going to be using the standard 24.3 database. By the way, welcome in Bellamy Twitch. Thank you very much for the following. We have a £500 million or $625 million budget for up to 25 players. Injuries are on, so we do want to be mindful about players being injury prone because they've got to get through a 38 game season. The leagues for the draft are the Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, Ligue 1, Eredivisie, Turkish Sport League, the Portuguese, what is it? It's just Liga Portugal. We've got the Brazilian Serie A, and we've got the Saudi Arabian Top League. So there's going to be 20 creators. We get 30 seconds each per pick, which is going to be interesting. Get that Southampton guy. He's like 6'7". Paul Onuachu. Indeed, I think Paul Onuachu did make the shortlist, if I can recall. Now, this is bad. So obviously, I got this message earlier on today, and I was doing all the work literally this afternoon. Put together a shortlist of 150 players, right? And I genuinely have no idea who I've put on that list. I could probably remember about 5 or 6 players in the entirety of the list because I was just filtering down by some key actions like goals and expected assists and tackle win rate and things, but otherwise sort by those with the highest header win rate and just shortlist a whole bunch of them. So I haven't actually really kind of processed it in my head who's actually on that list. Strand Larsen is a good shout. He is really tall. So Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, Milenkovic, Savic, top 4 players. You do love your old boys, don't you, Zoachal? You really do. Damien suggests that we should just go for Feyenoord players and we'll be fine. It's worked in the past, that's for sure. Sega, sorry to bother, but I have a quick question. You're currently trying to get more into the tactical side and realistic side of the game, not just choosing the normal boring player roles. How would you suggest I begin analysing my tactic on FM? Okay, Sega, hopefully chat can help you because unfortunately I'm probably not going to be in a position to focus on answering like in-depth questions not about what we're focusing on at the moment. Sorry about that, dude. So where's Valbuena when you need him? That would be a good shout. Welcome in, Hungdom in. Lovely to see you. And Jim Booby, that is a sensational name. I love it. So what's the most obscure league you've managed in? Because you're currently in the Lithuanian league as Vilnius Žalgiris, as that's where your wife is from. That is fantastic. Now I'm someone that tends to stick to the base database, so it's only ever going to be as obscure as available with the base game. So your Malaysias, your Indonesias. I've really enjoyed a save down in South Africa, but yeah, it's not that obscure by the standard of things. Okay, so hopefully we've got a little bit more news. Just still waiting on that there. Hung them in.
It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me. How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, bless you, Owen. Thank you very much. Am I in need of an assistant manager? I am in need of an assistant. I'm probably in need of a manager, to be completely honest. I was coming into this with the plans of being able to do my bit, wash my hands, and then hide. I will hide from RDF probably for the next 3 weeks because, he'd be very angry at the squad that I picked for him. That said, I'm probably now going to have to hide from him for the next 3 weeks because of clear betrayal. So that is entirely on me, I guess. Well, right, hung them in. Yes, Crew's in as well. Crew's going to be fantastic. Apparently, Crew hasn't done a draft before either, so there's a few of us who might be in a very, very similar boat, which is great. So RJ, we can't help. We are dumb. We are not dumb. You are all exceptionally intelligent, folks. So School One More says go for all over 30 years. I mean, we might well end up doing so. Actually, no, we probably won't, because the way that FM draft works is that value tends to be based on elements like your current ability rather than your potential ability and things like that. So older players tend to be a lot more expensive because you're not planning 4 or 5 seasons ahead. It's what they can do for you right now. So I think we'd actually might struggle to get a good quality team if we went all over 30, because all the really good over 30-year-olds, and I think like Dzeko, for example, is like 20 million pounds, which is crazy. Luca and Veghorst as strikers are a fine suggestion. Short Kings need love, says Supreme Crime. Well, look, as a Short King myself, I need to vicariously live the life of a tall person through FM. That's the way I work it. So Fidalgo, 800k, generally one of the best playmakers in the database. A great suggestion. Fidalgo's a quality player, absolutely. Score one more. Try to have fun with AI, Grok or ChatGPT. There's a recommendation for you there, Sega. Jim Booby, that's brilliant. You have just qualified for the Champions League for the first time. Fantastic. Your best result is 2-0 away against Olympiacos. That is a brilliant one. Okay, so I've just seen the message now. It's just gone up. So I can head on in. I've got to keep the game hidden whilst I'm trying to do that, you see. And once we've got in, I can then share my screen, which is marvelous. So that's all there. We've got some connections, all that's done. Paste in. Oh, it didn't like the that's because I pasted the wrong thing for the password. There we go. We are joining the online game now, so we can head on over and pop on over. Beautiful stuff. So here we go. Welcome in. We are in. We are just waiting for it to load image data for the skin. I thought, you know, what you'd really like to look at is a loading screen. Granted, it's a lot better than my face, to be fair. So, Corti Baguette Isidro Pitta from Bragantino, a Paraguayan Viking. Sounds fantastic. Sounds fantastic. What is today's stream about? So, Tariq George fan, we are doing a little bit of draft with the league. It is Zealand's the league, and we are going to be taking part. So we were originally coming in to just do the draft for the wonderful, the amazing RDF Tactics. However, I've been offered an opportunity to betray him right at the last and enter my own team. And being the disgraceful human being that I am, I have taken that opportunity incredibly. I'm just like, no, there's absolutely no doubts. I'm not even going to contemplate whether that's the morally or ethically right thing to do. Just gone straight for it, like it is like a horrible, horrible human being that I am. And so, yeah, we are going to be setting up. It's just the draft tonight. We've got 30 seconds, a £500 million budget for like the top leagues around the world. So we go down as far as like the Portuguese division in the Eredivisie, then we've got Saudi Arabia, we've got Brazil as well. So should be fun, should be exciting. Let's go and make some nice pretty kits here. We've got the colours from the badge loosely, and do we have? Oh, I do prefer that one, to be fair. Let's go for a nice Villa throwback. We've got the greens, and then there was reds, weren't there? Let's make this more in the... Let's just pop those as 0, so it's more in the red. It's not quite red stripes there, so let's pop that back on black. We've got black, we've got green, we've got black. Very little thought there. The Theatre of Sad seems appropriate. MustermannFM. So Zealand made a Creators League and I'm a temporary replacement. Yes, I was entering as a temporary replacement. It looks like we could potentially be in very, very bad state of affair, heading in as a proper competitor, which is disgraceful. I should without doubt be apologizing to RDF. If you are watching this, I am so sorry, my dude. So sorry. Cool, so we're in the lobby. We will just have to wait for everyone else to come on in and join, but we hopefully should be good. So the second half has been due to inclement weather. Again, looks fine to play football in USA at this moment. I think this is going to be the situation potentially for the World Cup next year. Welcome in again, Born from the Flames. Lovely to see you, my dude. Sadek, so Xavi Sims has performed very good for 35 million. Marvellous stuff. That's something to keep in mind of. What's the size of the database? Score one more. So I believe it's just a regular large database. Well, 11521. So that looks pretty similar to what I saw when I set up earlier. So just to remind you guys again, it is the Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, Liga 1, Eredivisie, Portuguese League, Turkish League, Brazilian Serie A, and the Saudi top league that we are looking at here. So should be good fun. Need a 18-19 Divock Origi performance then, I can only hope. So Rowan once won a draft with a goalie and centre backs of 1 meter 80, and the rest of your players being 170. So Short Kings can definitely be the play. Fair enough. So are you still drafting for RDF or not? I am not drafting for RDF. I am now drafting for myself. It feels dirty. I'm going to, so RDF is still going to be in the competition, just to let you know. So Zealand messaged me earlier, said, like literally just as the countdown on the stream dropped down to 0, messaged me earlier to say, look, we've had another dropout, betray RDF. And I didn't have much time to think about it, and I said, okay then. I did actually initially ask, is it possible to set up, can I set up for RDF so that I can at least hand over the shortlist that I had created based on the criteria he was asking for, so that then when it auto drafts it picks from there. But we can't, it doesn't seem to be possible to have me join as 2 people from the same account. So yeah, I've been exceptionally selfish. So the theatre of sad, it's got to be realistic. We've got to be realistic. Damien, me versus Omega Luke will be the battle of the beards. I mean, there are some fine beards involved. So Lujo has a wonderful beard himself, it must be said. Got a lot to compete with there in that regard. I don't think Munu's beard is all that great, I'll be honest. And you know, Robbo's a young lad, so it'll be a few years before he can grow his, but we'll get there. He'll get there eventually. So which attributes we target? Pace, acceleration. So I'm probably going to focus on the shortlist that I create for RDF, which is going to be around height or header win percentage specifically. So Sega, your money is on Musterman for the tournament. You have just lost your money. Absolutely lost your money. The Club World Cup has nothing on the average waterlocked Copa Sudamericana pitch. I mean, that would be fun to watch, right? So FA, good luck. Didn't know you were playing. I didn't know myself. I didn't know until a very, very short while ago. So we're not particularly prepared for it, but that's half the fun. At least I now have an excuse for when I make really, really bad decisions with the draft, right? That's going to be the main element there. So Centurion Production, your scouting is just recruitment focused on loaded leagues, correct? Don't you ever sign a player from Africa despite stats being good, per example? So Centurion Prodigy, I will sign players from Africa if I've got them loaded as a league on full detail. A huge part about using full detail is that the league that you manage in will always be set to full detail, and the match engines are slightly different. So if you're trying to compare any player to a player that you're managing, you need them to be on full detail to have that data veracity. Hunterman, you're going to say nothing. Crew and Musterman fighting is painful to me. Go root for Crew. I've got faith. I've got faith in him, and I think that rooting for me is a bad idea. I mean, send me your support and love. I will very much appreciate it, but I just don't think that I'm going to be doing well. Is probably the key point that I'm going to be looking at there. So we're just waiting on a few more. Most people are in now, so we've just got the last 4. We've got FM Guru coming in, which is fantastic. Thomas Stokes. We've got Oscar-winning Bong Joon-ho. I'm guessing, here we go, there's the save. I'm guessing that might well be Macwell, who I think is another relatively late addition to the crew, which is absolutely fantastic. So Martinez, welcome in. Is the database from original FM24? It is. It's the 24.3 database. Top pick in the draft, which there's going to be some... so, I mean, there's 20 of us, so... the people who get the first like 4 or 5 picks in particular, you've got to feel they've got some really, really good opportunities there. But there's going to be plenty of really good players. So hopefully not too much of an issue there. It won't be much of a might, says Sergio. Exactly. Musterman gets his rightly deserved spot, but what happens to RDF Tactics Draft? So RDF Tactics Draft is going to end up being a auto draft. He's going to just end up with whatever remains, which is... Now, the auto draft system isn't that bad. Hopefully it won't be too bad, but I do have faith that whatever squad RDF gets, he will be able to do very, very well with it, because he is remarkably good. Born from Flames, what's the formation in my mind? I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. Jebaroo, welcome in. Lovely to see you. I am a scumbag indeed. I will take that title very, very willingly and accept me. I have no counterpoint to it. So I like literally Born from Flames. I only knew I was taking part properly 24 minutes ago, whilst I was setting up the stream. So I have zero idea whatsoever. I'm guessing probably a 4-2-2-2 with attacking midfielders rather than wingers, because I know that's been very effective with Dortmund and a couple of other teams that I've used as well. I think that it's probably closest to the meta that I've ever used as a tactic as well, like properly. So it's one that might have more of a chance of holding up against the PvP kind of crowd. I don't know, but I'm guessing that's how it's going to go. We've got a 25-man squad, so some flexibility isn't necessarily going to be a bad thing, hopefully. So RJ's watching the game, the camera's showing the sky. It's nothing but the usual Belgian weather. That's fighting talk there. Man, also description needs a change. It does. But that will probably happen when I get a chance for a break or something along those lines. So Callie, welcome in. Your money is all on me. Don't throw your money away. Don't throw your money away. Please don't. Kurt is playing indeed. We've also got Nick RTFM as well. So as we can see here, we've got Zealand, we've got Stans. I was looking at the team name, the username there. The Chosen Yam. We've got Manny Brown. We've got Matt second yellow card. We're waiting on Tom FM. I think that's Macwell. We've got Kurt. We've got Lelujo. We've got Clates. We've got Work the Space. Omega Luke. We've got Zims Moolah. We've got Crew. We've got Moonu. We've got FM Guru. That's Arthur Ray. I didn't realise that Arthur Ray was FM Guru. Oh, okay. Because I know FM Guru's work elsewise. I thought Arthur Ray was someone entirely different who just used his skin. There we go. We've got Robbo. We've got Stokes. And we've got Tom FM down there. So, was that potentially the Tom FM has now finished sorting out his bit there? Okay, there we go. That makes some sense now. I'm getting there. I'm slow. Draft like the Browns with G&G. That is the plan. I'm going to overreach on all of my picks. I'm going to specifically target players that are bad characters. So why is Oscar winner Bong Joon-ho there? Well, look, he's already conquered film. Like, whether it's a case of Parasite or Snowpiercer or whatever that one was quite recently, he's already conquered that territory. It's about time he steps in and handles the world of FM, right? The RDF versus Musterman derby will be a classic. Don't. Scenes when RDF beats you with a last minute winner. Absolutely. He does. And I mean, I don't want to suggest that I'm open to throwing games, but I will quite willingly lie down and let RDF walk all over me. It's the least I could do. It'll be like Boca Rivia. I mean, really, it's going to be a one-way rivalry, right, though? Because I'm going to just feel guilty all the time. There's not going to be too much going on in terms of bitterness or anger from me, to be fair. So Darius, you might be a scumbag, but you're a scumbag. Thank you. Target George fan, last time you used a 4-2-2-2, you entered the streamer. But that's exactly because it would be appropriate for this type of tournament, right? So it was pushing us towards the meta side of the game, whereas with something like this, I'm kind of going to have to embrace it, I think I'm going to have to embrace it. Someone's playing on Epic Games, just the one person, though. Just the one person. So FA, Zealand said no plug and play, or I'd say narrow meta version 37 is the best tactic for a draft tournament. So yes, there are specific rules. We are not to use the World Cup winning tactic, which is the 4-2-4 with two inverted forwards, both on support with hold up ball, the two fullbacks attacking on like sit narrower, cut inside with the ball, all that malarkey. I'd say what I'm going to do is if I'm going to be anywhere near the meta, I'm going to be using tactics that I've used before, because that way it's not a case of me starting to look into it and do it there. But we've done a lot of study. There's videos on the channels where we've kind of broken down what the meta is, and looked at ways that we can try and counter it, and failed dismally trying to counter it. So we might need to embrace it. We might need to embrace it. It's the most crazy FM day ever. For real it is, Leroy. For real it is. As long as it's our glorious bars, it's okay. Thank you, Zoatrol. Thank you, Sadarish, as well. So is this the FM24 regular database? It is indeed the regular database, 24.3. No updated ratings, no updated gaming engine. It is vanilla FM all the way. So Work the Space will resign anyway. Free spot there. That's true. Can you accidentally resign during a draft tournament? That sounds like a challenge. I mean, there's a good chance I'll be resigning after about 10 games as we sit rock bottom, 0 goals for, 40 goals conceded. Actually, after 10 games, we'll probably concede more than 40 goals. Let's be realistic. Somehow Work the Space has unregistered his team and manager. So I'm not exactly sure how he's done that. We'll see in due course. So Damien, it might be obvious, but I'd be looking at versatile players. You need good balanced depth, especially in a league format. Indeed, a fine suggestion there. Okay, we're still Bald Ford is the host. So Bald Ford. There we go. RDF tactics. Set up Zealand has managed to set that up as a hot seat manager, which is absolutely fantastic. Oh, can I have added a hot seat manager? I could have done potentially, so I could have maybe taken over too. Oh, now I feel bad. Well, I felt bad beforehand anyway. The repercussions of my actions. They're just playing over in my head. They're playing over in my head. And I feel so bad. Oh well. Memories of Murder, Parasite, and Barking Dogs Never Bite. Classic Bong Joon-ho bang. He's quality, isn't he? Absolutely quality. Mother is really great. It is a fantastic shout. If you haven't watched any Bong Joon-ho films, like, watch them all. I'm a big fan of satire, so I'm naturally going to enjoy his work. But sensational. It probably the only time I've seen an Oscar-winning film before it won the Oscars, which is, it's definitely a rarity for me. By the way, welcome in, Etri. Thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So Martinez says, in times like this, you're glad you have a 2 monitor setup, one for the Chelsea game and second for the tournament. That is a fine idea. It's me, Ronnie. Can we discuss Mancomb Seepgood? You are more than welcome to discuss Mancomb Seepgood. So it is a I was about to call it Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a Monkey Island reference. There is, when you play the original Monkey Island one, the first thing you do is you speak to a guy up on a watchtower. Then you go down into the little town and there's a pub. There's a bar, the Scum Bar. You head into the Scum Bar and the very first person in the Scum Bar that you can talk to is a pirate. And you say, my name's Guybrush Threepwood, I want to be a mighty pirate. And he says, that's a stupid name, Guybrush Threepwood. And then he's asked, what's your name? And his name is Mancomb Seepgood. Because I am a very, very sad human being. So that is why I am Mancomb Seepgood. That has been my Steam name for a very, very long time. And I just never got around to changing it, even since we've become Musterman and started doing creation. So Work the Space is looking for the resign button already. Really does look that way, doesn't it? Really does look that way. Just currently going through the process. I mean, at least he's true to form, right? Absolutely true to form. So Jack is on his way back. Just got a little message in the... so he accidentally stepped out. They then had to get back in, had to kick out the team so that Work the Space could then come back in again and add a new team. So there we go. There is Work the Space in. So I'm expecting we're going to get a shout to say that we're going to start relatively soon, which is scary. Very, very scary. I'm just going to keep an eye on as much as possible the Discord so I know exactly what's going on. So if you're going for height, you should draft Josh Akimpong. I mean, Tyler George fan, you are nothing if not consistent, but I don't think that Akimpong is going to be quite good enough at the beginning of FM24 to take that risk. But who knows? We'll see what happens when we get down. And we have shortlisting time. We've got 5 minutes, so let's import the RDF shortlist, which looks something a little bit like this. We have about 15 to 20 players for each position. Most of them are above 6 foot, but not all of them. So as I said, I focused on header win rate rather than height. So even though these players like Rico Henry's 5'7" was winning headers really quite highly for a left back, which may be in part because he's a wing back more than a defender left. But yeah, so we're going to focus on it that way. We've got a little bit of lag here, which is, fine. But generally speaking, we're already hitting 6 foot when we're less than a quarter of the way into the shortlist, which is good. We've got some absolute beasts. I think the tallest was 6'8". So that's going to be our main focus there. When Ayrton Lucas, you reckon that Ayrton Lucas is going to have a good game against Cole Palmer? I mean, Cole Palmer's not known for his defensive work, right? Gusto at right wing. That is crazy. That is crazy. Standard FM, Sesko was broken for you. One of the best physical strikers you've ever signed, but I don't remember much. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure that Sesko's going to be on our list. I know that Isaac Toure is a player I definitely want to pick up. We're going big. Isaac Toure at 6'8", absolutely has to be in the squad there. Imega would be a lovely pickup, obviously. He's only valued at £4.6 million, which is incredible. And obviously he's tall, he's fast, he's very injury prone though, which is the only concern and probably part of the reason why his value is a little bit lower. So can't wait for Crew Alexandra versus Musterman FC. It's gonna be a treat, that's for sure. Where does this idea for Musterman Air come from? So Clock TV. When I was creating skins, when a skin, basically, it's still FM, right? It's just FM, but with a slight change to how it appears outwardly. And quite famously back in the day, Football Manager couldn't get the rights to Oliver Kahn's name, so they named him Jens Musterman. So the way that a skin was like Jens Musterman was really Oliver Kahn, just with a different name. And the Musterman skin was still FM, just with a slightly different fascia. So that was it. I named the skin Musterman. And then when it came to creating, just thought might as well carry it on. So Kevin Meir, top pick. I wish. He's not in any of the leagues, unfortunately, Nick. He's not in any of the leagues, which is disgraceful. Good luck, says Dill. Thank you very much. We are fully in. Just the shortlisting period to go now. I don't know the draft order. 30-second limit. I'm imagining that I'll probably go for strikers first. I doubt that any of the big guns are going to be sniping my stream. Let's face it. So I reckon that I'm pretty safe to talk about players that I really want. And someone like Isaac Toure at 800k, 20 years old, playing for, I can't remember who he plays for. Is it Strasbourg, perhaps? Maybe one of those teams. Okay, he might be on somebody's radar because he does have 20 jumping. But like, I imagine that as much as I love him, I could probably wait a few rounds before he needs to be taken, right? So we'll probably start with striker, maybe a centre back, maybe a good aerial midfield, couple of midfielders, and we'll see. Lord Emperor, he's at Le Havre. Fantastic. Thank you very much. The tallest is Isaac Toure, indeed, 6'8". Do not sign Paulinho. His tibia is gone. Thank you very much for the recommendation. Weghorst, my God, what have you been smoking? I mean, Weghorst, right? So in Football Manager, he's above the 50th percentile for goals scored in those simulations. He wins something like 60% of his headers, which for a striker is absolutely phenomenal. He's not that slow. I think he's like a 10 acceleration. Yeah, 10 acceleration, 12 pace. I mean, he is an absolute beast. And he's only 10 million, right? Amigo is so good. Imega really is. Imegoat. Hiker. Perfect goal song as well. So Morin, so your strategy is to play for set pieces? No, actually. So rule number 2, we can't use the World Cup winning tactic. We also can't change our set pieces. So we can use the default set pieces in game. We'll go through the set piece creator, set them up as to our preferences, but we can't change. We can't change attacking set pieces, defensive set pieces, throw-ins, any of that. So essentially, in case you've only just arrived in, Morin, I was meant to be drafting for RDF Tactics. A spot has now opened up, which means that I'm going to be... Lelujo has got the first. We're into the draft. Okay, Lelujo has got the first pick 3 times, and I'm next. Interesting. I have got the second pick. I don't know if this is a snake draft or standard order. So we've got the first lot has come through. Let's see. I'm probably... do we go for Osserman? Osserman is tall. And he's fast. Why can't I pick him? Why can't I pick him? Why can't... What's going on? I'm taking Jude. I couldn't pick. Oh. That is frustrating. That is very, very frustrating. Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Right, okay. So I'm going to need to have a way. Can I select all? Can I remove these guys from the shortlist? I can. Let's see if I import the shortlist a second time. We've now got... Oh, that's the default short. I don't have the picking option from here. Ah, there we go. That's why. Is there... So do I have to do it from find player? I'm an idiot. I am a sensational idiot. Right, so I have a player that I've panic picked and I've used up 68 million pounds of my budget already, but oh no, I got Osman. What's going? I'm brilliant. We've got Osman. That's great. Did it auto draft? Read chat. You picked Osman. Brilliant. Fantastic. You got Osman anyway. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, guys. Right, so our next focus, I say, would probably be good centre-back if we can. So Delict was the top centre-back on my list, and he's also the most expensive. But I think Jonathan Tah comes in there as a very, very good option as well. Yerry Mina, I quite like the look of. I quite like the look of Ilario Monterisi, who we signed for AC Milan in the AC Milan save, which is going. Weghorst is a weird guy, though. Depending on what you want, you can need him for extra chaos, maybe. Exactly. So Lord Emperor, love Toure in a back three, but that pace is an issue. It's not at all. We can drop to a low block. We'll be fine. A good goalkeeper will be important. Absolutely. I've got a nice selection of goalkeepers, I think. I think there's some very useful ones in there. So Ocean Man. I don't know what Ocean Man means. Slapped a cameraman a few weeks ago. Wow. Bless him. So who's your favourite player that I've had in FM24? It's probably going to be, as Necrosis mentioned before, Kevin Meir was sensational. Actually, no. So Kevin Meir has proven to be an absolutely fantastic player. I really, really like Marvin Sanaya, a relatively under-heralded right back that can pretty much do anything. He can play as an outside wing back. He can invert and play inside. He can play as a regular fullback. He's good enough, basically at everything without being sensational. And yeah, I'm a big fan. So what a pick! I mean, it's amazing. Thank God it knew. It knew. It evidently was aware of what I wanted somehow. So we can see some of the players going. We've got Mbappe's been taken, Haaland's been taken, Kane's been taken, Van Dijk has gone to Durag to riches, so that's Manny, I believe. Šeško, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's gone to Tom FM. Jude Bellingham has now gone. Salah, Nunez, Lukaku, Isaac has been taken as well, and now I believe Macwell is on the clock. Welcome in, nickname 123321. How you doing, my dude? So I need to click finish picking when I hopefully we'll get there. Years of experience. Well, Quan, I've done this once. That's the thing. That is, let's be fair, I have zero experience of what on earth I'm doing here. Right, Heung-min Son goes to the Gooners, and FC Pompey is up next. Is there a way of seeing who's been drafted other than going through this lovely list here? I don't think so. There was a little chat bit here. I've clicked on it. It's not done anything. I am worried. What have I done? I can't click on anything else. I can move my mouse around. Can I back out? Can I go to the home page? Oh, this is incredible. This is incredible. So I clicked on this lovely little bit down here, this lovely little chat icon. Can I? Haha, I can get into preferences. Network client disconnected. There we go. We're back in. Boom. There's a relief. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Stream broken. It's over, guys. I don't think it was lag, because like nothing else is the speed that it responded after we went to I tried preferences and then went back. That's a big difference. A big difference, right? Low block. What is this concept? Crazy, I know. Tariq George fan also loves Marvin Sanai. He's a great player, a cracking player. Right, it's still half time in Orlando. It's been a pretty rotten week for weather over in the US, hasn't it? So mini crash. So you've had it happen, Lord Emperor. Usually sorts itself out. Thankfully it did. So is this your first time drafting? You never click the chat icon. Okay, it's my second time drafting, FA, but my first time clicking that icon, that's for sure. Can you win the league with just Victor Osimhen? I mean, my chances haven't got any less if my squad is just Victor Osimhen. Let's be fair. Beware of chat bubbles next time. Dear God, that is the case. You have right winger. We don't currently, at the moment, we just have Osimhen. So we, as I say, I'm probably thinking of playing a 4-2-2-2, so like a Brazilian box, 2 attacking midfielders, not wingers. So we probably won't even pick a winger either. So Callie wants us to pick Foden. He can play in lots of positions. He can indeed. I also find him kind of underwhelming in this. But we're up next. So we would like a centre-back, ideally. De Bruyne has just been taken. Looks like De Ligt is still available. Tar is still available, so that's going to be my pick there. Let's click there. Jonathan Tar has been picked. Beautiful. It's another one above average cost. So if we've got 500 million for 25 players, that's 20 million each. We've spent crazy money on Osimhen. He came in for like 60. Jonathan Tar in for 25, but he's a player that I really, really like. Hopefully we can pick up Isaac Toure a lot later as well, so that'll give us some extra height back there. My next focus wants to be someone that can either play in the midfield slots. There's some absolutely cracking players. Bentancur probably isn't. I'm pointing out Bentancur because he's a player that met the criteria, but is relatively low down on my list. So he's quite expensive for someone that I don't think that I'm interested in. Now, Ruben Loftus-Cheek ended up quite high in that list for someone who's good in the air. And he is. Now, that would make sense. He's high up because he is reasonably good in the air. So, Jabez, come on, Musterman. You can do it, I believe. Thank you for the faith. We won't do well, but it's all going to be good. It shows Osimhen as wingers. Yes, Osimhen can play out wide if needs be. I think it shows as long as they're at least competent. So, Mr. Moman, hope that taught you to be antisocial. You play Football Manager. Absolutely. Don't ever click the chat button. Don't ever. James De Ligt and Shaw, the team of cookies. It'd be incredible, right? Is the Inter centre back on the list? He's 6'5", great pick. You've regularly picked him up for like 5 million. No idea, Lord Emperor. As I said, I based this on header win rate. So if they didn't make the cut, then they didn't make the cut. Looking at those around the £5 million mark, there don't appear to be anyone in there. We do have a couple of Italians, as I said. We've got Monterisi in that list. We've got Bascarotto in that list. Who are players that I do quite like the look of, but no Inter player, I'm afraid to say. So FA, it just stops working and focuses to opening the chat screen. You are lucky your PC can handle that. Most processors can't. Well, that probably explains the big lag, because for streaming, I have half the processors turned off, so I set the affinity. So that's probably why there was such a lag as well, to be fair. So the game crashed loading Osimhen's salary demands. Exactly. More filters drafted? No. Thank you, Jeb. Thank you, Jeb. Let's go. It's there. Drafted is no. Beautiful stuff. That way we can keep a track as well. Thank you very much, my dude. So we still have to watch the budget. We've got plenty of budget. We've got loads and loads of players on our shortlist who are under like 5 million. So we can pick up our big players nice and early, potentially. Oh, welcome in, Llama. Welcome in, Llama. How are you, sir? How are you doing? Sorry I couldn't make the stream earlier. How is everything going with Horn? Are you feeling particularly horny this weekend? So Lord Emperor's suggesting Jan Bissek, a fine player. He's not into at the start of the game, is he, Jan Bissek? He's still in Germany, possibly? So FA, you can pick your Mal for only 1.2 million. That does sound like a bargain. A bargain indeed. Broken chat is not a bug, it's a feature. Exactly. Do not be fooled by the attack of Coates. That guy is shit. So F8, again, I have quite a lot of faith in Sebastian Coates. I've taken a data-led approach to this shortlist. Granted, it was the shortlist for RDF, but Coates proves to be exceptionally good. And you've got to be willing to adapt your tactic to suit, like we would if we're going to take his Victory, because he's going to be slow. We don't want to play in a very, very high line. But Coates is still a sensational player in that first season. So I'd feel all very, very comfortable with him in the squad. Nix, welcome in. Is Ward Prowse a valid option? By far the best set piece taker in the game if you're going big anyway. So there are some players that I think would be great set piece takers who are also very good in the air as well. So having that big boyness, we've got players like Yazici, who looks like he could be quite a good option. He surprisingly wins something like 43% of his headers as a midfielder, which is pretty decent, which is quite nice. Have you considered McTominay? He's a great player. I might have to do it on your shortlist too. That's a very, very good point. No, it stays there on the short. Does it? Yes, beautiful stuff. So Horner not terrible, confirmed. Fantastic. So is Ladislav Almasi available for draft? I don't believe Almasi is, I'm afraid, because where is he playing at the start of the game? Isn't he still in? He's not in Slovakia, is he? Does he start at Prague in Czechia, or is he in Hungary or somewhere along those lines?
It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Bless you, Jailers. Thank you very much for the subscription with your Prime as well. That is greatly appreciated. You're an absolute gent. Have you considered Schlotterbeck? He's quite tall. He's 20.5 meters. That is quite tall. Sausages would be a signing. Now, I can get behind the idea of sausages for sure. Sausages. What was that advert? Was it like a stuffed dog saying sausages for some reason? I'm guessing it was an advert for sausages. This is a thing that exists, right? I'm not just making this up. I might be making it up. I might just be going mad. FA, you'll remember that, so you can say it. I'll just say you'd be more than welcome to. So Oleg wants me to take a look at Bamba, a centre-back from Italy that is quite good and is fairly cheap, I believe at 15 million. Now, if that's the Bamba I'm thinking of, I don't think that in the simulations he was playing regularly, so he didn't make the cut, so he's probably not going to be on our list. I'm going to stick to the short list because they're players that I know can perform. So unfortunately, even if you make some fantastic suggestions, that's not me saying that they're not great players or they're not worth considering. Just, I've had very little time to prepare. If I try and introduce an element of fuck it, let's just go for something on the whim now, it's going to be even more chaotic. So Damien, if you want tall guys who are good in the air, you might need to go for Luke de Jong. Luke de Jong is in the short list. I do remember him popping up on that list. I think he was third. It went Weghorst, Crivelli, but Crivelli's not in this the leagues here. Then De Jong. So is that Banner Castrava at the start of the game? Yeah, indeed. Dominic Sausages plays for Liverpool. Dominic Sausages. I'm guessing that's a Solanke thing, but I love that. Dominic Sausages. Fulkrug doesn't play enough, unfortunately. Again, when we do the simulations for the original thing, I think Fulkrug, either because of his injury proneness, it's Wall Sausages. There we go. Wall Sausages, of course. In FM, pace matters more than all other stats. So, Jeremy, pace is very important indeed. However, you can more than make things work when you focus on other attributes as well. So, Dominic, are you targeting tall players, but who do you have in mind to get the ball to take them or take the set pieces? So we, as I've mentioned only a few moments ago, we've got some players on the list, but we're still going to prioritize big guys. It's not about prioritizing tall players for the sake of competitiveness. It's just a case of prioritizing players that can win header for the sake of it. There are no great tactical plans here. So I wonder, my pick, that's okay. We've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I'm fine with that. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. I do. Right, this is it. Chat, I now need to ignore you so that I can focus on the game. Because if I'm talking to you guys, I have absolutely no hope. No, Tony couldn't pronounce Soberslai. Beautiful stuff. It's beautiful stuff. Okay, I wanted a midfielder who's good in the air. Loftus-Cheek is a midfielder who's good in the air. I can make do with that. So let's make sure we've got... we'll go for a more attacking play. So we could take Dominic Sausages. We could definitely take Dominic Sausages. Did you moneyball the draft, and what formation are you playing? So we're just 3 rounds in. So nickname. I was originally meant to be standing in for RDF. RDF said that he wanted big players. That's all I knew. So I created a short list of players with very, very good header win rates for their positions. Then at about 6 p.m, pretty much on the dot, I was told they've had a dropout and do I want to draft myself? So I've stabbed RDF in the back and I feel very, very guilty for it. But I'm going to just use this short list accordingly. So I guess we might play a 4-2-2-2, but I don't know. I've done absolutely zero planning for what I would want to do in this tournament. I'm on the clock. So do we want to take Dominic Sausages? No, I'm going to take Arascaeta. He's a quality player. I like him. He's fun. There we go. We made a pick. How about that? So I've got a creator, I've got a runner, I've got a centre back, I've got a forward. Our fullbacks are going to have a lot of work on their plate. So let's take a look at these guys here. Sasha Bowie is a player I really like at that value point. I like Mathis Oliveira as well. We'll probably pick one of the fullbacks to take first. Then we'll go back to some of the more attacking positions. But what we'll do essentially is find out which fullback we can get and then adjust our plans accordingly for the next one. Tallest people in the world as an average are the Dutch. There we go. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, let's go. Pay attention, please. I mean, what do we know? What do you expect? You lost your money on this guy. I'm sorry, Callywin. I'm sorry. So what should we have for dinner tomorrow? Crudmo, leader of Musterman chat. A good question. Sponge, Bobsly, Squidwarts, and Mr. Gravs. I have no idea what you're saying there, Tyrek George. Absolutely no idea. Lutefisk. That's a bad suggestion. For sure. Cromwell should help Musterman concentrate instead. Indeed. What I'll do is I'm going to move my phone now into a position where I can actually see notifications, and Crudmo can just like panically send me a WhatsApp message saying, pay attention, you idiot. So draft order is apparently random. Beautiful. Every round will be random. Right, okay. That's interesting. That maybe makes sense why, I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention. That's not my fault. And yeah, we got the second pick. We've got the 4th from last pick there. We've got the 5th pick in round 5. So yeah, it is all over the place. We need to pay attention. That's gonna be cruel. And there's no way of seeing the draft order, right? I've got the test notification, Chris. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, Crudmo. Ignore that. There you go. I'll dox you midstream as well. I hope you don't mind. So we almost have the Farikai season. What is the Farikai season? And how should I have actually pronounced that? So Mariki is an absolute draft gem. If you can't decide on backup striker, go for him. A fabulous suggestion. Thank you very much, FA. Terrible pick. Trash team, says Tyreek George. Not a fan. Not a fan of... was that how the Arascaeta pick you didn't like? You gotta laugh. No, how dare you say anything mean about Arascaeta? He picked... It's balanced, right? You could pick better, but at least you pick this time. I'm happy with Arascaeta. He's someone who comes up very, very high. I think he's got something like... I'm trying to remember, so this might be slightly inaccurate, but I think he's around 0.3 XA and 0.3 goals per 90, whilst having a relatively low possession lost output as well in the simulations, which is sensational. To have both that level of creativity and goal scoring for an attacking midfielder rather than a striker is top notch. I really, really like Arascaeta. And he comes in around the average price for our draft picks, which is brilliant. A player I'm very, very happy with. He picked a Flamingo, so the enemy. Why have I got another pick in the 5th round? That is crazy. And why are my... Has it now reset these guys? So do I want Bowie or do I want Oliveira? I want Bowie. Beautiful. So we've got Bowie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's round 5 because it is round 5. It is round 5 indeed. So we've got a right back. I will hold fire on the left back now. I'm going to look for a striker with the next pick. So we've got some very established players here. We've already got Osserman, who is our fast guy. I do now want a tall guy. Kevin Behrens is a player I really like. Kevin Behrens is absolutely sensational in the air. He's not too slow. So that is definitely someone that I've got my eye on there. Obviously, Wout Weghorst does a job. Banzer is a very good player as well. So there are some good players there. Giovanni Simeone is under 6 foot, but has an incredible header win rate. So he's a player I'm likely to keep an eye on a little bit later on as well. Emega might be a player we take as well, because obviously Emega is absolutely sensational, but is very, very injury prone. Since when does Twitch give ads of almost 3 minutes long? Damien, they've always been. So I get a choice with with ads. You need a minimum of 3 minutes every hour, and you can either have them as a block or you can have them like every 20 minutes and 1 minute each type thing. So I just have it set at an hour at the minimum that I need to stop pre-rolls from happening. So choose a player, then he'll be chosen next if you don't pay attention. Interesting. Is that true? Welcome in, Maestro, by the way. I hope you're doing well. Lorenzo Luca's been recommended. Pro tip, if you press chat button 3 times, it adds 100 million to transfer budget. We're not going to click down there again. We've made that mistake. Seb, did I hear correctly that you're thinking of a 4-4-2 diamond? No. Thinking possibly of a 4-2-2-2, so a Brazilian box, but there is no guarantee. We will try and be kind of a little bit flexible. Florian Wirtz has now officially been announced as a Liverpool player. Well, hey, what a big signing. Crazy money. Patrick Schick is an option. Patrick Schick most definitely is an option. As is Tim Kleindienst. I think we've got a couple of... Oh, no, Bruno Henrique's on that list as well. I think Bruno Henrique is quite a fun player, although I have a feeling his consistency might be low. Sebastian Haller is a great option for somebody big. Faris was an interesting player. Faris doesn't look that great, but really came out very well in the simulations. Schick insta-pick, says Callie. We've got a lot of people shouting out for Schick. But Banana Face. It is Boniface indeed. Everyone loves a bit of Boniface. You have to consider Luke de Jong. Go to the heading. Yes, Damien. So as we mentioned, Luke de Jong is very high up in that list. I mean, is he still on the list here? Has he already been taken? No, he hasn't. He didn't make the list then for some reason. I'm sure he was high up on there, but for whatever reason he's not on there. So there must have been something that excluded him. Bruno Henrique, the modern poet. Faris is amazing in FM. He was trained well in Norway. That'll be what it is. Weghorst is better than de Jong, says Nickname. Weghorst is the greatest in the air in this game, according to the simulations, just ahead of Enzo Crivelli. And Enzo Crivelli is a much better goal scorer than Weghorst, but isn't in our shortlist here, unfortunately, because we don't have Swiss leagues involved. But I don't like Weghorst's pace. I would prefer someone to at least be good, at least 11, right? Damien, you tried your best. You did indeed. So not too dissimilar. Are you not concerned with mobility for your header rate, win rate pick? Seb, I honestly don't care what the outcome of the league is. As I said, I only found out I was getting involved at 6 o'clock. I have done so little planning for this that if I start to worry too much about those elements, then I will get very stressed probably. But just because a player is good in the air doesn't mean they lack mobility. I mean, no one's going to turn around and say that Diao Sketa here is not a particularly mobile player with acceleration of 15, agility of 16, similar with Victor Osimhen. So whilst there is aerial prowess being used, that doesn't exclude them from being capable of doing things. I hope that kind of explains it. Petkovic mentioned, a fine shout there. Beto is goated. Beto is a great option. Currently just 5 million as well, which is quite good. Ricky J Jones, I'm afraid, Phenom guy, is not in the list. It's Premier League is the only English league where we're allowed to take from. So it is Premier League, Serie A, Ligue 1, La Liga, something else, the Bundesliga, the Turkish League, Eredivisie, Liga Portugal, Brazilian Serie A, and the Saudi Russian League that we get to pick from. CDK, who is CDK, FPL dudes? Welcome in. And you've said CDK again. You've said it twice. I still, unfortunately, don't know who CDK is, though. Zerachil, god dang, you might have been to start a save just to play hoofball with Veghorst. Do it. Do it. Absolutely do it. Seb suggests Charles de Ketelaere. He didn't come up on the list. I'm not sure if that's a case of him not playing much in the first season, or him not winning many headers despite his height. I mean, he is the Peter Crouch of Belgium, right? So FPL says Charles de Ketelaere as well. Oh, Charles de Ketelaere. Close indeed. Yeah, so I don't know if it's a case of, I didn't see his name pop up at any point, and for like attacking midfielders, and they just need to be accomplished as an attacking midfielder, the expectation rate was only at 30%. Forwards, it's 40%. 40% is good for strikers. For centre backs, it's 75%. For full backs, it was 60% as the minimum. But everyone's going to be near the top end anyway. But yeah, de Ketelaere didn't come up. I didn't remember seeing his name at any point. So I don't know if that's a case of not played enough minutes, or whether it's a case of he just had a really bad header win rate compared to expectations. Marcus Thuram doesn't make the grade either, but Kefram does. Kefram is in that list as a possible midfielder, but otherwise not. So de Ketelaere is in Belgium still. Is he? I thought he was in. Was he not? Was he not at in Italy? That might well be it. That might well be it. Oh, in this database. So let's take a look for de Ketelaere. There he is. No, he's at Milan. He is at Milan in this. 24.3. So what simulation are you talking about, by the way? So Andre, one of the things that I do, I base my play style, it's not to look at attributes, it's all data led. So I do the series called the Moneyball Clinic, and I create skins as well, which is all based around it, where I performed multiple simulations of that first season, so that I could get a database with 99% confidence accuracy and intervals, which is what I'm using to base this shortlist off. I've taken that, which aggregates performances across all those simulations to find the top performers consistently from the start of the game. Jabbit says AC Milan. A cheap option could be Muriqi if he's in the database. He's been good for you in the past, and Muriqi's been mentioned before as well. I said I don't think he made the grade. So we have our lovely little shortlist here. As I said, I'm not going to veer from the shortlist, I'm afraid, because I didn't have time. You know, if we were doing this properly, absolutely fine. But yeah, so we'll be taking one of these guys. All of them now underneath, from Paulinho downwards, all of them are under the average of 20 million that we'd be looking at. And so we're on the clock now. We've probably got, I do like Beto. I do like Behrens as a cheap option as well. We're going to take Beto. So Beto and Osimhen up front. We've got both of them have bags of pace. They're really good in the air as well. We've got Loftus-Cheek in defensive midfield. We've got Arrascaeta in attacking midfield. We've got Tar. We've got Bowie. So we now want to start filling out those options. I would like to see. So Jonas Wind could be a player that could play behind the striker as well, which is obviously quite an exciting opportunity. So if we bring him in, that's an additional attacking midfielder, which as well, rather than just being another striker. Same can be said for Schick or Paulinho. I know Paulinho's injury proneness is a concern. Also, when I've had him play wider, he's been a little bit disappointing. So So you're next. Thank you very much, Jabbits. I was actually on the ball for once. Just once, though. So Hussam, what are we looking for? As you say, when we say what are we looking for, I'm not really looking. I have a kind of idea of what I'm doing with the next pick, and we've got our list all together. But yeah, so we've got a whole load of players here. An attacking midfielder that can play as a striker would certainly be handy. So potentially we've got players like Kulu here as well. Could be a really good option. Kulu could be a great option. He's not good at heading, but he wins headers. Thomas Muller, probably a little bit too expensive there. Suarez and Berghaus were both towards the lower end of the list, so I'm probably less keen on them. I'm probably less keen on Calvin Stengs as well. Sorry, Damien, but he never performed for me when I was managing Feyenoord in the FMNL. It was always everyone else. So Jacob Ramsey's a player that I was surprised wins a lot of headers, but he can't play as a striker. Same situation with Kyrian as well. James Rodriguez, I was really surprised that Rodriguez wins headers because like jumping reach 10, 5'11", but you know, we would certainly embrace it. Mendes fights to 6'2". He could be an option as well. But yeah, I think Kulu comes up quite high on our list. That's going to be a little bit above the average of 20, but we'll have plenty of players beneath that, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue, right? Another suggestion for Marcus Thuram. Yeah, we're not looking there. Did Philip Cheats make the cut? Unfortunately, Tits didn't. I would have loved to have Tits up top, but sadly, it's not going to happen. Trust the stats. Exactly, nickname. Exactly. Dzeko, 30 million. Yeah, well, that's the thing is because draft mode is all about where the player is currently rather than potential. All the old boys become really expensive, don't they? Zerachel felt that in the last draft where he was going for a specific old boy tactic, old boy approach, but with a very limited budget. So Seb can get behind Kulu. Derek suggests Marino. Got a suggestion for Brahim Diaz as well. Stengs is always injured anyway, so I understand. Very dodgy knee. That will do it. Hoffenheim, this will be interesting. Been years since you played the Bundesliga. Go for Hoffenheim, absolutely. So William, what tactic do you have in mind? I don't possibly a Brazilian box 4-2-2-2-2 that we used with Dortmund in the Moneyball Clinic Dortmund series, because I know it's effective and it's closer to the meta than most stuff that I normally use. So that would be 2 attacking midfielders behind a target forward and advanced forward, a more attacking one on the target forward side, a supporting midfielder on the advanced forward side. But generally, if we can, we don't like it to be players that can have different footedness as well. So I like to have a right-footed attacking midfielder in the right attacking midfield slot, left one on the left side. So Kulu would give me left-sided option to complement Diaz Sketa as well. So yeah, I'm quite liking the idea of Kulu. And potentially they both could come, if we want to play with wingers, they can both play out wide. We could potentially put Osman out wide as an inside forward, with Beto playing in more of like a pressing forward type kind of position. So yeah, probably something along those lines, but don't know. So is Pedro Gonçalves from Sporting in the shortlist? He is not, Andre, I'm afraid. He did not make the grade. Malik Tillman, I was surprised that Tillman made it, but as we can see, he's got pretty good jumping reach and heading reach, but his goal output was absolutely fantastic. A 4-2-2-2-2, yeah, 4-2-2-2-2-2-2-2. The idea is to try and get as many players on the pitch without anyone noticing. I can't guarantee it. Right, here we are, we're up, and we're going to take Kulu, and there we go. Thank you, Crommo. Yes, I spotted it literally just a few moments before we were on the clock, which was very, very handy. Left-footed centre-back now. I mean, that said, Delict is still available. But yeah, maybe a left-foot centre-back would be quite nice. Pablo Mari, I think, is a little on the slow side. No, 12s are okay. Pablo Mari does quite well. Mari I prefer over Salai, but Salai is a good player as well. Mosquera is a really cheap option. So there's a couple of cheap players in there, and Mosquera is one that definitely stands out. Smolcic, I suppose, is fine. Isaac Toure is a player we do want. So Toure is still available. That's a key part to play in. Romagnoli at 24.5 mil isn't necessarily a bad shout, but I think it's probably going to be an ideal situation. If we're lucky and no one else takes the players we want, the rest of our defence would be Pablo Mari, Mosquera, and Toure. That would be the ideal situation. Murillo's a weird one because I'm sure his attributes are a bit wank, but he does win his headers, he does win his tackles, he does do quite well, but he just doesn't look like someone I'd feel comfortable with, to be fair. Till Winkelmann is the sleeper pick. Till Winkelmann, indeed. Our Lecce in, I mean, he's there. He's there. Let's add him to the shortlist. He can be player number 25. Absolutely no doubt about that. So Botman, maybe. Botman would be a shout, but doesn't do particularly well in his duels, unfortunately. Now, I don't want to like, I feel I'm rubbish at pushing things, but if you want to know about the database that I'm talking about as well with the statistics, it is one of the resources available through Patreon. So the resource that I use for the Moneyball Clinic series, which is that massive database, is something that's available via Patreon. As with all my resources, so any resources that I create will be shared. They're not necessarily all that optimized. They're things that I use, like I'm using for the draft today. So they're very much in a live state. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're basing it off. So I'm looking at players that have not just good header win rate, but also good metrics for their positions. So centre-backs need to be able to win their tackles, don't lose possession much. Attacking full-backs need to be able to create as well as win their tackles. Defensive midfielders, some might need to win possession, some might need to pressure, and so forth. So yeah, a player might not have made it, is unlikely to have made it because of their header win rate. Because generally speaking, header win rate was the thing that filtered people out, and then we were looking for people that would meet other criteria. So I can't be certain, right? But Diamande didn't meet the grade. I don't think his tackle win rate was particularly good. Jacob Graves, sadly, he's third division below because he's not in the Premier League in 24.3, unfortunately. Oh, bless you. And Cromo is now flooded the chat with the other links as well. So what is this? The Tournament of Zealand? It is indeed, Yaron. Welcome in. So at the very last moment, we have been drafted in to replace a dropout. Unfortunately, I think it was Visa who was meant to be taking part. Sadly, couldn't make all the dates as we go later on. So we've taken over. Oh, you beauty. Welcome in, Mad. Welcome in, Raiders. Lovely to see you all. You are here in time for round number 8 of Zealand's The League. At the very last moment, we've been drafted in. Originally, we were going to be covering RDF and doing his draft for him. And then at the last minute, I was given an opportunity to stab him in the back and take over an actual slot and compete properly. So I have been a backstabber. Welcome in. We are very, very unprepared. How was the stream, Mad? Lovely to see you. Now, if you're not following Mad, one, you should be. The maker of the greatest databases out there. I'm on the clock, so let me make sure I get this right. We have got Pablo Mari. No, not Pablo Mari, not Rafa Marin. Yay, we got our pick in. We've missed a couple of picks already, so sorry I have to drop out there. Yeah, go give Mad a follow. Create the greatest database. How was the stream, my dude? So Archie was really hoping you're playing it. Can't wait to see how you do, mate. Thank you very much. I can promise you I will be absolutely atrocious. I don't play with attributes.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Exactly as Gino says. There's going to be a lot of maybe shit. Because I don't play competitive PvP FM. So there's definitely going to be a lot of... what's the best way of putting it, really? There's going to be a lot of making the best out of situations that we possibly can. I'm here for the fun, not for the competitiveness. On which days and times will the league be played? Draw? I don't know. I've only found out that I'm involved so late on in. So we are going to be... I was looking through the chat. It doesn't seem to be there. But there has been conversations. It won't normally be on a Friday. I know that much.
Champions League, man.
That was my next question.
Come on.
It won't be on a Friday because that's a day that's quite busy for a lot of the FIFA streamers, so Kurt and RTFM, Nick, that is, by the way, and a couple of the other guys. So I don't know exactly which days, but there's 3 weeks to get a full 38 game season squeezed in. Subsequently, I'm not going to know how that's going to impact my schedule over the next few coming days. Welcome in, Retro Gamer. I'm doing well. How are you, sir? Lovely to see you.
Champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
He is a special one. He is a special one. Right, so if we get ourselves... So Ruben Loftus-Cheek, we count as a defence midfielder. We need another centre-back, another defence midfielder, and a goalkeeper, and that is the starting 11. So we are picking this round. We've got 8 players so far. And then we can start to be a little bit more flexible. Now, someone like Kulu might not be in the starting 11, to be fair. And there are some players a lot cheaper down in our list that I'd kind of be on board with taking. I do love how draft mode keeps on resetting the filters as well when I move across. I'm sure that's definitely not going to catch us out a little bit later. El Norby's in. Welcome in, El Norby. How are you doing, sir? Trubin for goalkeeper. Trubin is on that list indeed. Now, Trubin is reasonably affordable, I think, as well, isn't he? Has he already been taken? He might have already been taken, though. It looks like someone's already got Trubin. I'm not just next, I'm now. Let's do that then. So we've only got a few seconds left, and I want a defensive midfielder, and we're running out of time. So is it going to be Musrati or is it going to be Cristante? It's going to be Musrati. There we go. That's a little bit more expensive than I would have liked. Amir Richardson's player we're probably going to pick up, maybe Santana or Carvalho as well. Let's go back to those defenders. We've got Mari, we've got Tar, we want a left back. Christ, this is stressful. Tell me about it. Tell me about it, Cosmo. Thank you very much. Do you think Moneyball can be more than a strategy? Maybe a lifestyle? That is a very profound question, Hossam. I think that you can certainly apply aspects of it to the way that you conduct yourself in many things, which is just trying to find stuff undervalued by the market. I do think that it is more appropriate for a sporting setting than everyday life, because a sporting setting, you're trying to take some of the emotion out of decisions, whereas in real life, you need to embrace that emotion because you have emotions, and trying to ignore them is very tricky. By the way, welcome in, Rich Sun, as well. Lovely to see you, my dude. Yeah, so I think it could be, but I wouldn't necessarily want it to be. So, Mika, your in-depth understanding of features will certainly help you with tweaks on the fly. Just trust what you know and you'll ride the storm. Bless you. Thank you, Mika. We will hopefully, the plan is to hopefully, my aim, if we're not last, I'm happy. So El Norby is happy because you're part of the league. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Ironically, if I knew I was going to be taking part, I would have themed this all around the American football comedy show, The League, which is a brilliant series with Jason Mantzoukas, Seth Rogen, Mark Duplass, and some others. Nick Kroll, Paul Scheer. Fantastic series, absolutely fantastic series. And I thought that we could build everything around that somehow, which no one would get. No one would get apart from maybe Zealand and Stans, and they're not the audience I'm playing to. So score one more suggests for Jerry for left back. Sadly, he doesn't make the cut either, I'm afraid. But there are some fantastic players here. I really like Oliveira. Matthew Targett, really good in the air. And we could go with a slightly more defensive one now that we've got Bowie on the right-hand side. Mitchell Dykes is a really interesting player because he's like 6'4". 6'4", so he would fit the big boyness in there. Yuri's great as well. So there's some cracking left backs in here that I really like. less keen on the top three. I don't think they represent great value. I do like Goossens though. I do like Goossens a lot. So watching the only the stream, since it's probably it's still half time, RJ. Still half time. Crazy. So how will the league work? So Andre, there's going to be over the next 3 weeks, we're just going to schedule evenings and play those 38 games. Once the 38 games have been played, it's going to split off into a playoff system. So the top 8 teams go into a playoff to then be crowned the all-time greatest winner. It's not just going to be like quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals. I think 8th plays 7th, and then the winner plays 6th, and something along those lines. But I don't know exactly. So, Mr. Teeny, this is a lot less stressful compared to watching Mad Scientist draft. It feels exceptionally stressful, Mr. Teeny. I can tell you, exceptionally stressful. So, Rich is using the Great Reformation database. Yes, so if you haven't checked out, Teeny's done fantastic work as well. Got all these editor geniuses, these editor wizards. Sensational work, always worth checking out. RJ could just play some other games, but where's the fun in that? So Rich, just waiting for the game to set up first so you can have a nosy around. Awesome. It's still half time. Don't know why, to be honest. It's just rain. So they had the same issue last night as well. There was a delay for inclement weather from what I recall, and I don't think it's not just the rain element, is it? It's the threat of lightning and the infrastructures and stuff like that. There's like a real big safety. Obviously, I'm semi used to it with watching the NFL. It doesn't happen all the time, but I'd say you probably get 1 or 2 games a season that get delayed a little bit because of inclement weather. So yeah, last night was lightning, so safety issues, exactly that. So you haven't seen any, but you might not see any lightning, but the threat of lightning can be enough. It's if you think that there's a chance that you'd end up with lightning, you want to be careful, right? Vojvoda was great in a couple of your saves. Vojvoda is a fantastic player as well, and obviously helps with that flexibility, being able to play on both wings. Granted, he is right-footed though as well, so he's more likely to be a backup option for us than a starter, I reckon anyway. So those players surely must be getting sick of it at this point, because it's been so long. Well, wasn't it so it's the Salzburg game, wasn't it? Salzburg Pachuca. There's like an hour-long delay. Pachuca then came out. It started back up from the 50th minute with a throw-in for Salzburg. Pachuca won it, won a free kick, scored direct from the free kick, and literally like mere seconds back into it. And I can't imagine how weird it must be. Can't imagine how weird it must be having to get back into that rhythm at such short notice. So Archie, you've got faith in you that you'll do well. Bless you. Thank you very much. I hope I can do you proud. So nickname, who's on your goalkeeper list? So we did have a little look a while ago. After this round, so we're in round 10 at the moment. After this round, we're going to be picking a goalkeeper for round 11. So we'll take a look then, because I've been missing. I've not been the greatest at being attentive to when our picks coming up. I'm not going to flip back and forwards. The slight lag, the 30-second pick time. Just going to sit here and be in position to react as soon as I possibly can. So the Threat of Lightning is your favourite Annihilator album. Do you agree that Julio Jones is the most talented and physically gifted wide receiver since Megatron? I mean, that's not too controversial a claim. Now, obviously, Quinn Torres Jones, I love the fact that his real name is Quinn Torres, not Julio. It's a great name. Call yourself Quinn Torres is a much better name than Julio. But yeah, a sensational player, has been impactful. He's adapted his game over the years as well, going from being that absolute physical threat speed freak to being able to adapt to a more possession heavy game, being able to play out wide, playing in the slot as well. I think he's a sensational wide receiver. Physically gifted since Megatron, I think there are many wide receivers out there who have had the physical gifts. I think I would find it quite difficult to assert that he is beyond
You
a
are an
number of
ostrich.
them.
Well, your head must be in the sand.
But he's got the mental aspect, and that's obviously the bit that a lot of young players struggle with. That's what allows him to be such a consistent threat. So he is physically gifted, the most. Not sure I agree with that, but he's got the whole package that he is such a sensational receiver. It's a fair shout. It's a fair shout. I followed it. I got it right. I got it right. It's amazing. It's not going to happen that often. So we have a nice wide range of players here. We are not looking at the top 6 or 7, to be honest. And maybe Diogo Costa at 30 million might be reasonable. But players that I really like on this list, we've got Jordan Pickford. I think we're all familiar with Pickford. Very, very good goalkeeper. I quite like Bento. Bento is kind of really underwhelming in terms of his attributes, but a consistent performer, albeit Brazilian Serie A. It's difficult to truly gauge how that will compare to, say, the very, very top leagues. But he's very good at sweeping. He's very good at the possession won, the possession lost. As is Gunuk. Gunuk's been quite good. I really, really liked a player who's already gone. Who's the Lyon goalkeeper? Lucas Perry. Lucas Perry was a goalkeeper that I was really keen on. I think he was around the 24 million mark. He is a little bit injury prone, I think. But he was the one I wanted as my first choice. Sadly, that's not to be. Miguel Moro is the worst goalkeeper on this list by far. But apparently he did quite well in the simulations. I didn't double check the league, so I kept him on here just for the sake of it. Tado. So there were some good cheaper goalkeepers here, but if we can get Jordan Pickford and say Bento, Tado, or Roche, that's under 20 million for the two of them, compared to 20 million average. I think that would do us a lot of good. Bailau had some very good games for me in the FMNL Super League. That obviously carries some favour with me. Livakovic is an FM legend. Diogo Costa, a quality player at the top, is probably at the top of the valuation I'd really want to go for a goalkeeper though. So yes, Pickers, you love Pickers. Good for club and country. Exactly. So RJ, what stats did you take for goalkeepers? Headers on 2 or more traditional goal prevented? Goalkeepers were the only ones that didn't have header prevention rate. So it was purely on XGP, possession won, possession lost. Yeah, those are my like sweeper keeper types of picks. So Cortiba says Lucas Perry is a bit inconsistent, to be fair. Fair enough. I mean, Perry always comes out as being a really, really good player on these, but I haven't had him managed him yet to know. But obviously I would have loved to have had Kevin Meir, and it's an absolute disgrace that's not an option. So Nix, in your opinion, you can spend a bit more. Try to calculate if you have time, you can spend big on 2 players and still be more than fine with £280 million left. Oh yeah, we can certainly spend big. But I also quite like having money left towards the end, because what I've generally seen.
When the seagulls follow the trawler, it's because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you.
Generally I see that people tend to run their money down quite quickly, and you end up with some very, very good players available at the end who are quite dear. Pickford's been taken, so we are going to take Costa. We're going to panic on it. We'll take Costa. Have I got the next pick as well? Oh, interesting. That's caught me off guard. Double pick. Fuck. Giovanni Simeone, player that does really, really well. Cool. Yeah, double panic. Brazilian Serie A, I think, competes with Europe. Did you see Botafogo versus PSG yesterday? Absolutely. What a sensational result, Incognito. What a sensational result. I think that I'm kind of talking about in FM, because when I'm looking at the performance data, how well it scales up can be difficult to judge. Like I've mentioned, Lucas Perry does really, really well, but Cortiba was saying he's quite a bit inconsistent. I think that might get exposed more when I'm up against very, very good players potentially. So Pickford, Sunderland, Everton, it has to be. If only Sir Zealand picked him. Bastard. Do you think Sommer would be a good choice, Archie? So he didn't come up as someone that did well in terms of preventing XG, so I'd steer away from him personally. So Adenusi would have just gone for Mining or Atabolo. I wasn't spending that money on Mining, unfortunately. As I say, I'm quite happy. I wanted Pickford. I'm happy with Diego Costa, and we've got some cheaper goalkeepers in there that I think will be all right there. 2 in a row, interesting. That caught me off guard so much, Nix. So much. Does the draft start today, Maestro? The draft is fully underway. We're almost halfway through. Can you believe we're almost halfway through? Which is, we've still got half our budget as well, which is fantastic. We could perhaps pick up a Bruno Fernandes, because no one's going to spend £72 million on Bruno Fernandes, right? Surely not. The Quers, are we winning? No. But no, I've won in life. I have betrayed RDF, and I'm going to hate myself for the rest of time, but I am now officially involved in the league. So that's a kind of winning, right? That's a kind of winning. Lenny Schmeichel is good, but unfortunately Schmeichel is not part of the leagues that are involved in this draft, I'm afraid. He starts the game. Is he at Anderlecht at the start of the game? Or is it Celtic still? Yeah, so he's sadly not an available option. He's inconsistent in real life. Okay, fair enough. How's the squad looking? So Dominic, we have our first 12 players. We've got a starting 11 of Diogo Costa, Sasha Bowie, and Mathis Oliveira at fullbacks, Jonathan Tah, Pablo Mari in defence, a double pivot of Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Ali Al-Mazrati, ahead of them Kulusevski and Arrascaeta. And then up front, we would have Osimhen and Beto. Giovanni Simeone has been picked as the first substitute option. So we're looking, I'm pretty content with that. If we need a goalkeeper, is Mamadashvili good in FM? I think he often gets used as a traditional goalkeeper rather than a sweeper keeper. So his possession loss numbers tend to be relatively poor. But I imagine he's a very good shot stopper. Seeing that some of them already spent £400 million, Bruno Fernandes might still be there. Exactly. This is what I mean about saving my money until the end. Sometimes people will take themselves out of the running. They'll ignore good players, whereas we'll get our preferred choice and then be able to get some bonus players, right? That's the hope. Tony Jameson in the Sunderland squad. Incredible stuff. Incredible. I can't with these ads while the ball is still in play. Who's the... Is that on DAZN? Or is that on Brazilian broadcast? That seems horrendous. His possession loss numbers. We are not supposed to win. We are not supposed to win. Not have fun. We are supposed to win. Not have fun. Possession loss matters. It matters. It matters hugely for me and my love of sweeper keepers, right? And so yeah, Luis Diaz is a possible option, although he's more of a wide player. But he could play behind there. I do like Domenico Berardi. Probably not at that price. James is fun. James is a fun player. Trincao made the list. I know that someone was asking about Gonçalves earlier. He didn't, but Trincao did. Luca Bacchio is a possible option there as well. Baronecchia is interesting. Baronecchia is a player that I find often comes up as a good performer, but I've never taken control of, so possibly. Gross is obviously a potential option for set pieces as well, which could be very exciting. Is Yazici still around? Yazici is still around, 13 million. That could certainly be an option as well. A good creator, good vision, good flair. Probably not particularly consistent would be my only concern there. Just keep an eye, make sure that I don't miss. So many choices, so many. Sakara TV, you're watching on a different platform. It's free on YouTube, so I guess monetary reasons. Fair enough. Fernandes at 20th round is like picking Jokic with the 41st pick. Would never happen. I mean, it could happen. He's still there. He's still there. Could happen. It's like picking Shadur Sanders in the 5th round. Hopefully. Frederick Horsness is versatile and consistent. A very good player indeed. Actually, do we want... So who do I want out of these? Kyrian. I liked Kyrian when I did the Las Palmas save stuff. He's certainly an interesting player. Not necessarily top of my list. Jacob Ramsey is a good player, but I think he's a player that gets better a few years into the save. Jonas Vind was a player we talked about earlier because he's a striker and he's a proper deep line forward target man type. I like the idea of Jonas Vind as having that extra big guy. We can like pump, we can get early crosses, loads of player flooding the box, all capable in the air. I think Jonas Vind is someone we're likely to add, but we're up next and we're going to take James Yazici. Oh, James is just more fun, right? James is just more fun. Gotta go with that. And then we'll hope that Jonas Vind is available a little bit later. And then these are the remaining defensive midfielders that we are potentially looking at. Cristante, a great player I really like. Amir Richardson I really like as well. And then we'll probably go defensive midfielder, centre back, left back, striker, attacking midfielder, right back, defensive midfielder, centre back, something along those lines. Now, I really wish I could see ahead to know when my next pick is. But there we go.
Let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom as far as I'm concerned. But I ain't spending any time on it because in the meantime, every 3 months, a person is torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland.
Welcome in, by the way, Zikos. Thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, so I think we want to, if we can have a third really good defensive midfielder, that's going to make me feel a lot more comfortable. Then a third really good centre-back. That point, I think we've got enough variety that we can play around with formations and have a proper think about how we're going to approach it. Maybe we'd then want some pace somewhere on the wings. That would be the only other other thing. So I've just been called a liar. Munu has just found out that I am no longer covering for RDF. It was let me. I became. Cool. Right. Yeah. So it was too bad. James was a complete flop at Sao Paulo and Vallecano. He plays so well for the national team. Exactly. I mean, he's also like, he's just such an exciting player to watch. I mean, he wasn't that good at Real Madrid. He was pretty exciting at Everton, certainly for the first handful of games at least. But you've got to have an entertainer. You need someone in there that you, even if he might shit the proverbial bed, someone who's going to excite fans. You see him come on and you think that he might do something special. And he's probably not going to do that special thing, but you've got that small little bit of hope in there. Just that small little bit of hope. Zelchul's a fan because of the old men. Exactly. Who's old? We all are. We all are indeed. Welcome in, Bash. Thank you very much for the follow. How are you doing? Now, all those guys that have followed whilst I've been trying to work out what on earth's going on today, I do apologise. So Zikos, Bash, Bam Bam earlier, I apologise for not shouting you out. Loud Marjay, Cals as well, Jens Bumsel. Jens Bumsel's a great name. Etri. If you're still about, who do you support? Who are you playing with in FM currently? Love to hear from him, but don't feel obliged to. If you don't want to jump into chat, you don't have to at all. But it's very, very appreciated that you've popped on in. Yeah, Bentancur is the lowest. It is like basically the last choice on this list. I don't want Bentancur. He was the worst out of all of these options. But it just so happens that he has the highest value. Pabega, I would probably put second last because I think he's injury prone. I also think that he has a trait to get forward a lot, and I'm like, yeah, he doesn't have the discipline I like for his attributes. But Cristante, I think, is a much more rounded player. Amo Richardson I really like. Santana I quite like as well. Vitor Cavalli is a good player. So one of these I'm more than happy with. So RJ's barely reaching your 40s crisis. The best crisis indeed. So Archie, Univar from Ajax is someone you like using to most. Fair enough. Univar's always come up as being quite... So for the saves where I've been a lot further in, I'll always see Nasser Univar's name come up. And when I look at his pizza chart in game, it's always underwhelming. But a lot of the time, I think that unless you get signed early on, he ends up in the Ajax second team for so long that he struggles to develop. Yeah, if you can pick him up and develop him yourself, I think he's a very good player. So Zavi's suggested Davidson Sanchez, sadly not on our list, I'm afraid. So RJ, soon's going to leave your wife that you don't have for a younger one. Buy a bike and down head. The best kind of crisis. Let's bring in Cristante. There we go. That decision is done. Time to pick. Thank you very much, Cronro. Thank you very much, sir. And then I want a defender. So the defenders that are remaining, De Ligt is really good. Coates is good. Not elite, but still good. Orban's okay, bit on the slow side too. Yerry Mina I quite like. I quite like Mina as an option. I quite like Monterisi as an option. I quite like Mosquera as an option. And then left footers I really like Isaac Toure. So Simican as a right back, possibly a Simican as a right back who can then be an option at centre back as well. Ooh. David Garcia, I think his acceleration is beneath 10. No, it's 11. That's okay. David Garcia is a very, very good player as well. Bascarotto, we had him at AC Moneyball and was a little bit underwhelming. So I'm not as keen on him there. Mosquera is young. Monterisi is young. You know, we wouldn't necessarily be buying players that are at the top of games. 13 and 14 compared to 12 and 14. So Monterisi, one-footed, but has slightly more pace about him, which is nice. I don't think that's something I'm ever going to accuse Yerry Mina of. Mina is definitely on the slow side. Did Mattia-Vici make the cut? Sadly not. Mattia-Vici is a good player. Isn't he? Doesn't he start in Serie B, perhaps? I think, quite possibly. So just kidding, you would never dye your hair. Indeed, RJ. So nickname says his in real life charts are also underwhelming. Is that, you're talking about Univar there? I mean, he's still, like, again, he's also quite young, right? Everyone likes Yerry Mina. Orban is the right choice. I thought you might say that, El Norby. Soboslai is on the shortlist as well. You'll be pleased to know. Palmer and Delap stinkers. Get them, Flamengo. Has the game started? Oh yeah, is it half time now in the... Was it an 8 o'clock kickoff for the Chelsea game? The Catenaccio, welcome in, my dude. Thank you very much for the follow. How you doing? How you doing, sir? So Kumbula's got really low agility, which is why I'm not too keen on him otherwise, but he does really well at Sassuolo in that first season. Oroz has great pace. We know that. I did a attribute reveal video for the Everton Moneyball Clinic, and we discovered that he's got great pace there. Not so good technically, but that recovery pace could be quite exciting. I don't know much about Gauta Loris. Yeah, okay. He's no Isaac Toure. I mean, I say Isaac Toure is 100% on our list. We're not going to take him this early because he's only valued at like 800k, and we're just going to hope no one else takes him. So it's a right footer that we're looking at here. What is Rafa Marin like, actually? 12s and 13s. I think Monterisi, slightly faster than Mosquera. Slightly better in the air. So I think Monterisi is the next player that we're looking at potentially. So it's almost half time. 1-0 Chelsea. Fair enough. Yes, nickname was talking about Univar. The next, was it the Chelsea game that was on, was delayed? The next game starts in 10 minutes. There we go. Shows you how good I am at tracking the games. Right, so actually, Archie wanted to lap at Everton, then he went to Chelsea. I think it would have been very optimistic for Everton to get hold of Delap, but I can understand why. I think that would be a better move. I think that Delap would be better served by going to a team that maybe are aiming more for top half rather than winning the league. And so Jason Steele is £16 million. Wow. But yeah, I could certainly see that as being a good move for him, and probably better for his career development. I would have liked him at Villa myself, especially if we look to move on Watkins. I think that his movement is more what I kind of like. And right, we're up next. So who is Zim's going to pick? Is Zim's going to rob us right at the last moment? He doesn't know who Ilario Monterisi is. He's going for famous players like Manchester Ligt. Please don't. He went for Ibrahima Sagara. Exactly. There we go. We've got Ilario Monterisi. We must have the most money left, right? We've got to have... Like, we're so hideously underspending. I should definitely spend more. So Fernandes is still available. Muller is still available. We've got the funds for it. Defensive midfield might be an area we need to pick earlier because we're down to just a small handful of players there. There are loads of left backs still available. There are loads of right backs still available. Plenty of goalkeepers still available as well, so no major concern there. Let's have a look at striker situation. Still a load there. I say Kevin Behrens is a player I like. Jonas Wind. Oh, we didn't pick Jonas Wind, did we? We picked James last, didn't we? So yes, let's get in Wind. That's what I said. You heard me. Let's embrace Wind, and that way we've got an attack midfielder and a striker who's one of those big boys. So hopefully. Oh, did they change schedule? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm all over the place. Oh, would it be a Beto move? See what you did there, Quez? See what you did there. Beautiful stuff. So no, you're bad at tracking penalty. I thought Chelsea was playing now. Okay, so it is Chelsea's the later game. Well, hey, I knew something. So Archie has a new friend. Crodmo is happy to find another Everton fan. Archie misses Lukaku and Barkley. Ooh, less so Barkley. How can you not like Ross Barkley? I mean, he was brilliant for you. Got you some big money. Came back and was not the worst player to leave ever, right? So what's the team looking like? The team is currently looking like we've got Diogo Costa in goal. We've got a defence of Sasha Bowie, Jonathan Tah, Pablo Mari and Mathis Oliveira. Maybe we stick in Monterisi and go with a back three. We've got a double pivot of Brian Cristante and Masrati, with Ruben Loftus-Cheek in relief. We've got Kulu and Arasqueta up front, in attacking field, in rotation with Rodriguez. We've got a strike force of Osimhen and Beto, and Simeone potentially off the bench. That's where we currently are. So, yeah, we probably need to go defensive midfielder after this because there's only a few left. But we'll go striker next. Another big boy. We've got plenty of pace up there. Maybe someone pacey in the attacking midfield spot. Fourth defensive midfielder. Defensive midfielder is a position where I probably want 5 players. And we're up next. We're up next after second yellow card. So it's good. It was a good player, just a traitor. Stanza's down to 56 million for 10 players. That is crazy. And we still have 193 million. Thank you very much, Crodmo. We are definitely underspending like crazy. So, and Bentancur and Babega aren't my favourite choices out of these ones. Amir Richardson is a player I really like. Look at that, 17 jumping reach. Pardon me, Santana, not quite as well-rounded. Carvalho, a little bit better in terms of spread. But yeah, Amir Richardson, potentially next. That way we've got our 4 defensive midfielders, potentially. So Elmobi says pick Bruno Fernandes and Szoboszlai. So I think I'm probably more likely to pick Szoboszlai than Fernandes, because I just don't like Fernandes. But but we're going to have money left over when, okay, some of these guys have money. New Zealand's got 140 million left. Magwell's got 110 million left. But there should be some good players left near the end that are worth big money that people have kind of not prioritized, but then don't have the money for at the end. That's the hope. And Jai is better than Soboslai. I mean, well, you would say that. You would say that. Let's be fair. Chelsea's now. Yep, it's half time. Shame can't have Wind link up with. Oh, could you imagine a team with Wind and Fortuna? Oh, that'd be incredible. That would be incredible. So Dominic, after draft, do you make the tactic, or is it just the draft day? It's just the draft today, which is good for me because I didn't know that I was drafting until 6 p.m. I didn't know I was drafting for myself until 6 p.m.
Fucking, do I not like that?
Yeah, I didn't know I was drafting until 6 p.m. this evening. I didn't know that I was going to be taking part in the competition. So I have no idea what I'm going to be doing long term in this. I don't know what the plans are going to be. So I'm very, very grateful that I've got a chance after this to try and work out what on earth we're going to do. So RJ, why is Bayern Boca at 3 a.m.? There's been some cracking late games, and it's good. It's good prime time for the South American audience. Nix, Win Fortuna and Shitty would make a lethal 3, wouldn't it just? Thank you very much for the follow, Jave3948. Welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. Right, let me just do me a little bit of that. So when does the league start? It's going to be, the actual competitive part is going to be next week. We're going to be playing the 3 weeks worth of fixtures. Sorry, the 38 games over the next 3 weeks, right? So it's probably going to be quite frequent. I don't know the exact details. I've kind of said yes. I don't know what the knock-on effect is going to be. That said, though, like how I was originally meant to be standing in for RDF tonight, there will be some people on backup. So if there ends up being an evening I can't make, someone else will potentially be able to step in. Hopefully I'll be able to ask people to step in as well, and that'd be great because it means I could potentially give my spot to someone else, to give them an opportunity for the exposure that I'm hopefully going to get off the back of it, which I very much appreciate. So yeah, like not exactly sure. 38 games in 3 weeks. Are you going to stream 24/7? Well, yes. So it's going to be key highlights, one notch above fast. It's going to be rattling through games. Thankfully, there won't be all the faffing around with transfers and all the nonsense admin that I normally do. So I imagine it's going to be bosh. So hopefully, all right. Tyler George, you start your first job tonight, 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. I hope you're going to be able to watch the Bayern Boca. Well, 1, congratulations, Direct George fan. 2, I hope it goes well. Good luck. So you're going to be a nighttime receptionist. Oh, interesting. Hopefully a relatively relaxed position, although I imagine there's going to be a lot of times where you're doing nothing and bored, then lots of times where you're having to do a lot, but all very, very last minute and urgent, and it's going to be a little bit stressful as well. But I expect the first couple of weeks at least you're going to be matched up with someone, right? So it should be fine. All the best for it, though. All the best for it, my dude. Right, we're up next. So Josh Doy going. I love Josh Doy. 4 million. That's a great pickup. Let's see. We're going to pick up Amir Richardson for 1 million. And then we want... Right, we don't need to worry about Torre. I'm happy with my fullbacks. Right, I'm happy with my fullbacks, right? I wonder... I think I get the backup keeper now. Or next. And then we're kind of looking good. No, we need defenders. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 7 midfielders, right? For 4 positions. We've got 4 strikers for 2 positions. So strikers... Actually, we've got 8 midfielders. Jonas Wind we're considering as an attacking midfielder. So actually, we potentially need another striker and we need defenders. Backup goalkeeper can wait. We know who our last centre-back is. So let's take a look at full-backs. So as I said, Target's quite a good defensive option, quite like the option there. Vojvoda offers us flexibility, being able to play both sides. Daniel Munoz wasn't made the list. Daniel Munoz made the list. He's pretty average though, isn't he, in this? That's a player that's surely got to get a bump when the new FM comes out. But he is a fun player. Carmona's a player that I think does quite well in this. He can't pass, but that's not a major concern. Yuri I like as a left back. He's now something like 33, but still consistent. Yuri could be an option there. Tagliafico, I'm worried about his injury proneness. Kachi, I thought was underwhelming, but a lovely moustache. Gersons for 15 million. Yeah, maybe Gerson's next. We've got the money. Let's do it. The backup keeper, thought we went all in. Well, Chris, we still need a backup, right? We still need a backup. Right, Derek. Tariq George, the evil Saka. Yes, Tariq George fan. The best Saka. I'm taking you're an Arsenal fan then, Derek. Callie, you need goalkeepers. We've got our first choice. We do need backup for sure. Absolutely. And then we'll probably take that cheap lad as the third choice. So Dominic Betty, any Croatian players making the cut? I like to see your nationals featured, but if they're poor in data, they don't deserve it. Data is life. I think there's Livakovic was on the goalkeeper shortlist. He's obviously a little bit dear, around the 20 million pound mark. I don't recall anyone else making the cut, unfortunately. Yeah, no. Right, okay, I'm up. Let's take Gersons. And then let's look at strikers. I like Behrens as an option. I like Kleindens as an option. I like Faris as an option. Banza is an interesting player as well. Tiquinho Suarez, I'm not as enthused by. So we're down to all big guys, but we've got Beto, we've got Osman, so we've got some pace. Junior Santos is an option there as more of a, like, if we sign him as a striker, he's also a player who can play out wide and is comfortable playing out wide, which is kind of the reason why he's there. And then there's Paulinho. So I'm thinking Junior Santos possibly. No one's going to beat us to Junior Santos, so we're not going to prioritise that. Let's look at the players we had out wide, actually. So I did shortlist some wide guys. Orsolini is a player that's surprisingly good in the air. Has a lot of flexibility. Daramy is amazing. Was amazing despite like 11 and 9s. Yes, Daramy is the man. There we go. Daramy is next. He can't play behind the strikers. He literally doesn't fit into the system that we might be considering. But he can be a striker, and then if we want to have that flexibility, he'd be perfect. So Mario Mitai for the backup left back. Okay, an interesting suggestion. So as I said, so Niku, we have a system that we've used to shortlist players. Unfortunately, if he doesn't make the shortlist, he doesn't make the cut, and wasn't going to. Is he even in this? In fact, Mitai. I was going to say, I don't think he's even in this because of the leagues that are available. We've got the Premier League, we've got Serie A, we've got the Bundesliga, La Liga, Liga 1, Eredivisie, Liga Portugal, the Sport Toto Super League, Turkish League, the Brazilian Serie A, and the Saudi Arabian League. And those are the only leagues that we can pick players from. So unfortunately, no Mitai in there. Tyler is the best keeper of all time. Kevin Meir in the database. Sadly, not Tyler. He's not in the He's not in the draft list because he plays in Mexico. I think to begin with, might he be at Tigres to start with? I think he might be. I might be wrong on that. But sadly, that means he's not available. Virgil for left back could be high in headers, but he's probably taken an expensive. Yeah, so I mean, all of these guys had really, really good. The ones that we were looking at there, Dominic. If I wanted the best ones for it, though, Target had something like an 81% header win rate, which is crazy, absolutely crazy, given the what you'd expect. How many rounds are left, asked William. We are in round 18 now, so we'll be going up to round 25. Nico, here's multitasking or muster-tasking points. We can't expect much at this point. Does he read chat at all? I mean, yes, so I do read chat, Niku, but I am very, very much behind. Rather than, like, when chat gets beyond where I am, I don't ignore it. I keep on following it. So I will be a little bit behind, I'm afraid to say. So Tyreek George, Derek, depends if he gets stronger. He's too weak to utilize his best attribute. Hopefully a good loan or two will help out. I mean, like, Tyreek George is yeah, you've got to expect it's a good couple of years away from being a starter regularly. And do you think he's going to make it at Chelsea, or do you think it's going to be the way that a lot of young players go, where they have to move to another club, they're sold for PSR reasons? Yeah, what is your hope like in terms of Tyreek George actually making it at Chelsea and staying there? Thank you very much, Crobmo. So we've got our pick there. Next, we will take our backup goalkeeper then. So as I said, I like Bento, I like Tadu, I like Roche. They're probably going to be my first three choices here. I can't imagine all of them are going to be gone by the next time. So Kelly, we do have a starting goalkeeper. And there's loads of goalkeepers on our shortlist still. No need to worry. No need to worry yet. Yeah, if Mitai isn't on the shortlist, I won't be picking him exactly. The question: do you see him having a bright future in women's football anytime soon? You meant men's football compared to junior football. That makes sense. Did anyone else see that person go past Mustermann's window? That made me feel very, very paranoid now. Very, very paranoid. It's the one with the mask and a knife, indeed. Momo Man just got back. The draft's still going. It is indeed. We are into the last 6 rounds, so we're almost there. And we've still got £165 million left. Still money balling. I mean, isn't that always the way? This is the problem, is when you go stat-based, I'm not really thinking about the budget. So the players that I remember when I was looking through, I just remember as being players that perform well rather than worrying about the budgetary side of things. But it's looking increasingly like we're going to end up with Bruno Fernandes at some point at the end, right? Some complete wild oddball selections coming up right in the end. Tyreek George fan, the main issue for Tyreek George is that our best player is in the generation after is also a left winger. I'm sure he'll be great, but I think he'll peak later, maybe not at Chelsea. Yeah, and that kind of seems to be the way of it as well now for young players. Who is the best player in the generation after? Who's the next player to keep an eye out for? No, Zerachel says spend all the money on the first 15, panic for the last 10 since you won't use them anyways. Well, the way is, you know, maybe we will use the last 10. We don't have to have a starting 11 of the first 11 we bought, right? Crobno says keep as much money as you can and then blow it all on one luxury player who you don't use at all. That's it. That's my thinking. So, blow it all just on a player so that you can say that you got him. Okay, you trust you got that. Just pick one Czech player for you. I don't know how many Czech players there even are in this. Who could we pick up? Who is Czech? I mean, Schick was on our list. Souček has already been picked up. Unfortunately, by I think it's Manny's picked him up. But Souček was the only other Czech, I believe, on our list. And that's drafted as no. That's cool. What did I say we were going to do next? We're going to do goalkeepers. Let's make sure that I don't forget what it is that I'm going to go for. In fact, I should know. I was just reading your comment, Kelly, so I should have remembered it was definitely on goalkeepers there. Definitely goalkeepers next. So I'll buy Tadic and put him in the under-18s. Effing scrub. Why do you hate Tadic so much? I mean, you did say he didn't perform for you, but like he's been a fun player for many years at least. So maybe you get bonus stars like Mario Party for least money spent. That's the hope. I'm not here to. I assume that Zealand is giving us this money in real life, and we just get to keep what's left over, right? That's all. That's how it works, yeah? That's how it works. So Ryan Kavuma McQueen, a left-footed left winger. Interesting. So how old is he? How long until you think that he's going to be on the fringes of the team? So we bring in Bento. That is our backup goalkeeper. Let's take backup right back now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Yeah. Backup right back. Then we'll take Isaac Torre, the player that we said that we were going to take all right at the start. And we can probably take anyone here. Di Lorenzo we can certainly afford, but I'm not that enthused by. Simican, because of his flexibility, his ability to give us a centre-back as well, definitely is an interesting option for me there. At 20 million, that seems quite reasonable. Suchek, but you were sorted on DMs. Indeed. Although, as I say, we've got 25 players, so we're going to have more than 2 in each position. There'll be some positions we'll have multiple in. Although some of that's going to be thinking about in terms of flexibility as well. Yeah, pick Fernandes last and never use him. Exactly. Hanko is great, but not that good value for money. Hanko, I remember Hanko annoying the hell out of me in the FMNL. It looks like a really good player, but for some reason just always seemed to be like turned too easily or slightly in the wrong place. And Trauner kept on having to kind of mop up, which was same because like he looks like the better player for sure. I could go for Mate Kovar as sub goalkeeper. Now he might well be a good player because I think that Kovar has the problem of not starting much during the simulations, but sadly didn't make the grade. So Leroy, welcome in, my dude. Thank you for the good luck, and welcome in, Johan. Hope you are both well. You should just buy some meme player for a lot of money with the remaining. Exactly. There's always a case for Tadic being bad for you in FIFA back in the day, and you bear grudges. Who am I to judge? So Crommo, like you do against Crommo. No, they're not grudges. They're perfectly justified, Crommo. Mr. Momoman can't wait for the Arsenal English Court of Dowman. Martin Lewis Skelly, Nwaneri, Rice. Hope it all pans out well. Do you think that, like, is Nwaneri going to stick around? Nwaneri seems to be being profiled to be kind of maybe a more central player, but it feels like he looks most comfortable playing in Saka's position. And surely if he's used frequently in Saka's position, he's not going to be happy being a backup. There's going to be a point where he says he needs to leave. Do you think there's the possibility that Nwaneri maybe is only with you for another few seasons? So we were just hated by association to blue. Tadic is purely personal. So Tyreek George fan, he's 16 but already played some games in the under 21s, probably a few years ago, but he's in the same age group as Reggie Walsh, as he started in a UECL semi-final. There we go. Now I remember Villa have a player who was like really, really young, played in the under 21s before he was meant to be in that age group, and Chelsea then signed him for £30 million and never played him. Not that I'm bitter that you've taken the legend that is Carney Chukwuemeka away from us. So am I taking 2 or 3 goalkeepers? We'll have a third goalkeeper, RJ. We'll have a third one, but the last proper pick is definitely going to be a goalkeeper. That's like if all the goalkeepers go on my shortlist, I don't mind, because that's one where I hope the third choice goalkeeper never plays, right? So Divine Wrench is the GOAT for you. Tyler Worsby is a very good player. Didn't make our shortlist, unfortunately. So your under 16 team is unbelievable. They're all playing under 18s and under 21 games. That's crazy. So Jave, what positions do we need? We need a backup right back. We need a backup centre back. We know who our backup centre back is going to be. That's going to be Isaac Torre. We then kind of have freedom to do what we want after that. This is round 21. Pick now. Did I miss a pick? Oh no, that came 4 minutes ago. Oh, thank God. I thought I just missed a pick, but I just got a delayed message from Crodmo. Made me. I was like, I've been paying attention, right? I've been paying attention. I know it's rare, but we finally got there for a change. Amari Kellyman has been injured all year. Amari Kellyman, that one I'm less upset by. I really like Amari Kellyman. I think he's going to be great, but I understand the pressures that were there and the levers and all that malarkey. So we are up next, and our take hopefully is going to be Simicon. That way we can have potentially 5 centre backs. We could play a back 3 if needs be, and that will cover us off there. So this will be round 21. Next round, the other backup centre back is round 22. That's where we've got 2 players for each round. So there we go, Simicon. We pick him up there, and then our last pick we're looking at Isaac Toure. No one's taking Isaac Toure. No, that's good. We can get our 6'8" monster. 6'8". Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. So Nwaneri in his academy days was an attacking midfielder, central midfielder. Exactly. I don't know if someone has said this to you before, but wow, your voice is smooth. Oh, bless you. Thank you. At the moment, it's very croaky because I've been talking non-stop for 3 hours. So it's only been 2.5. It feels like 3 hours. But thank you. I've never felt it smooth, but no one likes listening to their own voice. So I suppose there's an element that I can't be objective. So you think Nwaneri will use as both backup for Saka and Ødegaard for now? I will give him plenty of playing time in the future. Who knows? But I hope he does stay. Yeah, that's the thing, is there's going to be a point where he wants that regular first team football, and being able to prove there's that pathway. I think we've seen a lot of play. I mean, it's what happened with Cole Palmer, right? Sakani has just played too few minutes in adult football for his age now. It's crazy. Like, Kane had gone from playing for Villa to not being able to get game time out on loan. A real shame. That very much does seem to be logical. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Very true. A midfield combo of Skelly and Ranieri, who grew up together, must be attractive for all partners. Sure, I can, 100% behind that. But everyone wants their team to be filled with local players, right? Everyone wants the player with the local connection, as many as possible, and like, it's got to be the dream, even if it might not happen. So, Quez, is it unethical that you name someone the best player in FM in the Moneyball Clinic and then use someone else and go, Quez, Kevin Meir isn't in this database? That's not it's Zealand's fault for not including Mexico as one of the possible leagues. You know full well that he would have been like my number 1 pick. I don't care that we had the 2nd overall pick and could have picked any player in the world. Kevin Meir would have been my first pick if he was in this database and we could have actually picked him. So, William, what team do I support? I'm a Villa fan. For all my sins, I'm a Villa fan. Oh, welcome in, by the way, Charzy. Welcome in, Sunkovskik. I apologise for getting probably both of those pronounced wrong. If you're comfortable chatting, let us know who you support or who you're playing with in FM, but no obligation. Don't feel like you have to chat if you don't want to. So that's a Lelujo big meaty boy. Sunkovskik. We go for I am a Lelujo tribute act. I'm not too far from Peterborough as well, so maybe I could appear just outside his window to really, really confuse him. Thank you for the hydrate, by the way. So this is the Musterman villain story. He backstabs a guy, then cheats on the best goalkeeper in the world. What will happen next? It's awful. The longer this stream goes on, the more it's sinking in that I've backstabbed RDF. And oh god, the guilt is going to be horrible. I am not sleeping. I know I need to send him a message after the stream as well. This is going to be pretty bad. So Alisson and Bruno Fernandes are the last picks, right? Quite possibly. Probably not Alisson, but Bruno Fernandes might well be in there. Oh, welcome in, Phil. First time watching, lovely to have you in. Any chance you could show your current squad, as I appear to have missed a lot of Browns? So, Phil, once I've done our pick, every round is completely random, right? So I don't know when we come up, and there's only 30 seconds. So what we'll do is I'll wait until I've had my pick this round, and then I'll show you, because at that point we will have exactly 2 players for each position as well. So yeah, we're in round 22. There's only a few rounds left, but in a moment we will have basically 2 goalkeepers, 4 centre backs, 2 right backs, 2 left backs, 4 defensive midfielders, 4 attacking midfielders, 4 strikers. And then we can have a proper idea of kind of what the squad is kind of looking like. The medical car, are we the baddies? Well, you guys aren't. It's just me. I am I am completely the bad guy. I will shield you all from criticism. It's not like anyone talked me into. Well, Zealand talked me into it a little bit. I can blame Zealand for sure, but I won't blame anyone else. There was some rumours for Kevin Mear, Bayern and Brighton were interested. That would be cool. That would be cool. I imagine very much as a backup though. So how will the games be played? Do you have a schedule, a full real-time game with whoever you're playing? So the schedules, as I say, it's going to be spread out over the next 3 weeks. So it's a proper draft league. We all need to be online at the same time. So there will be a schedule. I don't know what that schedule is because I only got officially added to this tournament at 6 p.m. tonight as the draft was starting. I was just coming in to draft initially for RDF. And that meant that all I was worried about was putting together a shortlist. I didn't have to worry about what happens in the next few weeks. So, yeah, literally, I only got added to the Discord a short while ago. And I don't know much at all. So the next stage is going to be interesting to see what that is and whether I'm going to need to ask other people to come in and step up. And so Crummo sent me a message saying show the squad now, which is exactly what I'm doing. It's exactly what I'm doing. So currently, Phil, our goalkeepers are Diogo Costa and Bento. Bento's a goalkeeper I really like. We have at right back, we have Sasha Bowie and Mohamed Simakan as the backup. Our starting centre backs are likely to be Jonathan Tarr and Pablo Mari. And then as backups, we have Simakan, who can play both right back and centre back. We have Monterisi, we have Isaac Toure. Then on the left, we have Matias Oliveira and Robin Gersons. I'm not necessarily sure if there's a starter or a backup there that, you know, they might be quite close in rotation. In midfield, in our double pivot, likely that we're going to play 2 defensive midfielders. We're looking at Brian Cristante, Al Maserati, Amir Richardson and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Then behind the strikers, we're looking at Kulusevski, Arrasqueta, James Rodriguez and Mohamed Daramy and Jonas Vind. So Vind's quite flexible. Our strike force is likely to be Victor Osimhen and Beto, 2 big boys who are very quick, and Giovanni Simeone, just a player that seems to be remarkably good despite being very, very average. So our next focus is going to be someone else to fill in this area there. Oh yeah, Daramy is kind of like a striker, maybe if we end up playing with wingers, he's kind of a Swiss Army knife kind of selection. So let's have a look at the players potentially in this role here. Bruno Fernandes has been taken. Who do we have in strikers? Naziri is still available. And he's left-footed. I do like a left foot. Look at that. Another player that's just kind of good at everything. But he's a bit of a dick in real life. Kevin Behrens was a player I liked. I don't think we have to worry about someone else picking him up. So Behrens is probably a player we can leave to a little bit later. Let's have a look at some of the wing options, perhaps. So Trincao could be an option there. We are up in a moment. Luis Diaz. Denis Suarez is an interesting player for us. Pascal Gross, because he can play everywhere and he's good at set pieces. Pascal Gross it is. 28.5 million spunked at the end. We've got 2 more rounds left and 106 million left. So our last bit here, are we going to take a third choice goalkeeper? We can't risk being caught short on goalkeepers, right? So our next choice will be a third choice goalkeeper, and then we will just spunk money on whoever is expensive for our very last pick. So Derek, what happened to RDF? So RDF is still part of the tournament, Derek. He has a commitment this evening that meant he couldn't do the draft. He will be put on auto draft. So Zealand has set it up so that he'll have a squad. Probably not going to be the greatest squad, unfortunately. But if anyone can turn a bunch of misfits into a competitive squad, it's RDF. And I have a feeling he's never going to talk to me again. I think he's never going to talk to me again. Since RDF is one of the bigger content creators that advocates the use of stats, it's a bit of a shame that you butcher his squad. Indeed, it's a shame. It is a shame. Just saw someone with less than $1 million left. I mean, yeah. Is that... I don't know who... Is that what... I can't tell. Well, it doesn't have a team name. That is novel. That is novel. I didn't know you could do that. You can enter without a team name. How about that, eh? So how did you get Tar? Isn't he like super meta? He was one of our first picks, second pick. So perhaps in that respect, maybe. But yeah, he's a big boy, isn't he? He's a big boy. So do we take someone doesn't use up all our money? Shall we take another Brazilian or Roche? I like Roche. I like Roche more, I think, than Tado. So that's that one there. And then we've got one pick remaining. More filters. The only filter we want is that they're not drafted. So players that are available. We could take Antoine Griezmann. Joshua Kimmich is a very interesting choice. Joshua Kimmich is a very, very interesting choice. Does anyone have enough money left to stop us getting him? Luka Modric is a very interesting choice as well. So you got Osimhen and Tar first picks, exactly there. Right, it looks like a decent squad. Hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully it'll be okay. Do you have to worry about things like playing time in the save? Would hate to struggle because you've tanked team cohesion. So no, I don't think you have to worry about playing time in that regards. 53 million on each. Allison 59 million. Now we'll save it all for the last one. Charlie can't believe that Kimmich is available. Kimmich is proper super sub. Go for Kimmich. Kimmich last pick. Mengo. We've got a load of people going for. I mean, surely no one can step in there at the end. I like Fede Valverde as well, to be honest. I know he's young, but like a proper workhorse. Kimmich is quality. Kimmich is quality. Yeah, we're taking Kimmich. We are absolutely taking Kimmich. Zealand could take Kimmich. Zealand has 78 million left. Are you going to break my heart? Are you going to break my heart? The tension. Fuck. He did it with Jordan Pickford. And he's now done it with Joshua Kimmich. Oh, Zealand. Thank you so much for having me involved, but fuck you. Oh, my heart broke in front of me there. We could take Modric. I think Fede Valverde as an all-action player is quite exciting. He's not Joshua Kimmich though. I do like Gondwan. Inaki Williams is certainly an interesting option, but probably not one I'd be likely to go for. Delict is on our shortlist and he's still available. We waited too long. We did indeed. Doesn't use all our money. Says with £106 million balance. I was so convinced we'd be fine right till the end. Boo. Ruben Diaz is a quality centre-back. That could certainly help. Zealand deeply knows I'm his biggest competition. I think he's pretty confident that we're not. That's for sure. Right, Frenkie de Jong is a really good player as well. He's a good passer of the ball. Could fit in nicely for something a little bit more controlled. Kingsley Coman as a possible pacey option. Could play up front. Some very nice options there. Barella can again be that good passer, good defensive. Mentally, Nicola Barella is great. We want them to be tall though. How tall is Valverde? 6 foot. Okay, Valverde 6 foot. That's good. Ilkay Gundogan maybe not so much. I've never seen Jack Grealish win a header. Kingsley Coman. He's at 10s. Luis Diaz was on the list. 5'11". Not that great. Momo Man will go Barella. Luca has been suggested as well. Flamengo winning 2-1. Marvellous stuff. Bradley Barker if I really want pace. Is he only 17 and 16? That is wild. Leon Goretzka if I want to go full tilt because we didn't get Kimmich Skriniar so we can have some Slovak representation. João Felix, the worst player in the world. Oh, it's got to be Müller. Right? Okay. Thomas Müller is the last pick. Thomas Muller is my last pick. That is for sure. So Coritiba is happy. Yeah, Coritiba first, and then the entirety of South America afterwards. I'm completely on board with that. Flamengo are outclassing Chelsea so much. Felipe Luis with a full head of hair versus bald fraud Moresco. I mean, Felipe Luis does have a full head of hair. That is true. They use Kimmich as a no-nonsense centre-back like deep-lying playmaker did. Outsmart everyone. If only we could have done. If only we could. Bruno Enrique, what a player, what a mohawk. I take it that's the goal then. That's the goal. Only Zed has money for Kimmich, and he stole. Simic wants... We should have taken him the last round. We should have taken him the last round. Oh, heartbroken. Heartbroken. Mid-season transfer. That's what I'm on board for. Muller fits the me mold. He does indeed. Muller's on our shortlist because he does win headers, because he's quite good in the air. He does have a lot of versatility, so that works really nicely for us. It's just not Joshua Kimmich. And we've gone out. That's our job. We've done our bit. Just fabulous. Fabulous. So yeah, we've got the finished picking and the no draft restrictions. So that is our squad. Diego Costa, Bento, Sergio Rocha, Jonathan Tah, Mohamed Simikan, Robin Gersons, Mathias Oliveira, Sasha Bowie, Pablo Mari, Ilario Monterisi, Isaac Torre. Midfield, Muller, Cristante, Kulusevski, Gross, Mzrati, Azqueta, James, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Mohamed Daramy, Amir Richardson, Victor Osimhen, Giovanni Simeone, Jonas Wind, Beto. And then we need to press continue as soon as we possibly can so that Z can get his save of it all. So you get the remaining 60 million from Zealand. I hope so. I don't think there's a mid-season transfer window. It is a possibility. I don't think they've set it up, but that'd be cool. Nico Jackson's been sent off. It only gets better, says Coritiba. But Jackson red. There we go. Last pick of the draft was Retegui. A great player, to be fair. Great player. Can I see my squad in a different view? Can I see other people? I don't want to click that. I can click here to see the managers, right? So can I see my squad from this perspective? We can't then get to tactics. I was hoping that then we'd be able to get to the tactics screen from here and have a think about of what we're doing. So it couldn't happen to a more deserving team, says Gronai. Ajax. So I have the face pack disabled because I've been doing stuff with skinning. And when you need to constantly reload the skin, all those graphics packs adds up time to that loading. So they're all currently disabled at the moment, which is just removing the config packs from the config files from their folders. So still at waiting. Interesting. Let's see if there's yeah, it just says waiting here. There we go. That is done. Marvelous stuff. There we go. We brought in Thomas Muller for his leadership. Exactly that. So Jackson tried to cut off Ayrton Lucas's leg. There's been some very South American goalkeeping. Does that mean there's been an equaliser? Musterman shows RDF the squad. RDF, you had my... Well, can we see RDF's squad? Oh, so he's got Mamadashvili. That's a good player. He's got Jens Hyland, player we had at Darmstadt. He's got Scalvini, Alejandro Balde, Mark Gay, Sergio Dest, Colwell, Cambiasso, Thior, Trippier, Rodri, Musa, Reina, McKennie, Garnacho, Guerra, and Ciso, Tillman, Weah, Moscardo, Mbappe, Ferguson, Balogun, Vitor Roque. Okay. He's got a good squad. I don't feel so bad. We are up against Crew Alexandra first. Incredible stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to keep an eye on Discord at the same time as well, and that takes up the same spot here. He has Emi Martinez and Steve Mandanda. A defense of Mickey van der Ven, Diego Dallo, Josip Schutterlo, Anthony Robson, Naif Agerd, Adrian Truffert, Pierre Kalulu, Victor Gomez. A midfield of Martin Erdegaard, Manuel Ugarte, Alberto Malero, Memphis Depay, Vitaly Janelt, Bryce Mendes, Jakob Moda, Ezequiel Palacios, Christoph Baumgartner, Atakan Karazor, Ricardo Orsolini, Tejon Buchanan, Harry Kane, Lewis Openda, Adam Lozek. A nice squad indeed. RDF will make that squad easily, absolutely. Zerachul would rather have RDF squad than mine. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. You know that my squad is going to be full of players that actually just aren't quite good enough, and we'll have got it wrong. Welcome in, Ryan. How you doing, my dude? The Chris, Mama Dashfully, like you said, exactly. Crew versus Musterman going to be brutal for you. You'll be fine, Hungerman. You'll be fine. You can root for both and then just be happy either way. Wow. Right. So my thinking, so let me pop in, just see there. I don't know if people have dropped out or not, or whether we're allowed to. So Zealand is chatting. All right, we are good. Cool. So I think that means it's going to close. We're free to leave the game for the day. Beautiful stuff. Does he say that we're able to stay into it? Nope, he just says thank you. That's perfect. So can I export this squad somehow, maybe? I can't print that screen. So I'm just going to take some screenshots so that I can see my players, so I can have a think about this over the next couple of days. So yeah, cool. Let me just do the thing. Massive. Cool. So I will do the whole saying thank you, and that I look forward to embarrassing myself. So yeah, this is the league, Ryan. This is Zealand's tournament that he announced last week. The draft takes place tonight, and in the very, very last moment, so originally at about midday today, I was called up to draft for RDF Tactics, because RDF, it's still going to be in the competition, but wasn't available this evening. And then last minute, at 6 p.m. as it's meant to start, I was offered a spot on the tournament properly. So I've stabbed RDF in the back. I've had absolutely no preparation. And we are now going to be part of a draft tournament that I have no idea how I'm going to squeeze in the time for, which is going to be incredible. Now we are free to leave, so we're going to close down there. Let's pop on over to my face, which is absolutely fabulous. And I want to. We will end it a little bit. Well, I'm going to end it now. Basically, that was the plan, was to do the draft and then to decompress and deal with the fact that it's really damn hot. And even with like 3 fans pointing at me, I am struggling. So cool. Over on YouTube, we're going to be around on Sunday evening playing Rematch, a game that was released just yesterday. And then we'll be back to our normal FM streams. Well, actually, I don't know what our normal FM streams are going to be. Probably going to be talking about the arrangement for this over the coming weeks. So there'll be a few moments. If you want to pop on over into the Discord, we will let you know exactly when, as soon as I possibly can. As soon as we possibly can. So that's cool. That's the main thing. YouTube, thank you